Young, Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group. Broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios. Powering possibilities. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97thefanatic.com. Bob Cooney. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97thefanatic.com.
Happy Friday, everybody. Glad we got through the week. A few more hours, we can call it the weekend. You gotta love it. Thanks for joining us here. Middays, Bob Cooney. Ray Dunn producing, getting it done. Is Ray. Good morning here as the morning show had their open house, I like to call it, today. A lot of nice listeners came around. Had a lot of nice things to say about Ray today to me. A lot of people coming up and say, man, that Ray is really good. I had no idea he was that good. I had to be honest. I said, me either. And like Joel Embiid, I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. So that's all good. We hope you're having a great day. That yellow thing, I'll remind you, in the sky, it's called the sun. It shines down every once in a while, and it's been a while since it has done it here. But you have it today, so enjoy it. It's going to be a great, great weekend and a great sports weekend also. So hope you're all ready for that. And we're here to take you to it because it is going to be a fun day of midday shows today. A lot coming up. We have Jim Curtin's going to join us at 11:30. Union coach who loves to talk everything Philly sports. So I'm going to tick Jim off a little bit. We were texting back and forth this week. As much as I'm going to let him talk about the Union, I'm going to cut him short, and I want his whole take on Philadelphia sports because we have a lot going on. And because of that, Ray, let's get right to the front page news.
Now, the front page. The stories everyone's talking about. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Well, you have to start it off with your Philadelphia 76ers. What a good win last night. Second game, Joel Embiid is back. Phenomenal. They win 109-105 at Miami. Same score as it was the other night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. 109-105. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, all they did was score you 84 of your 109 points. Unbelievable. Nowhere, I don't think Joel Embiid is anywhere close to being 100%, and he goes last night for 29 points. I really enjoyed what he did. If you watch the game real closely, like all of us do, I thought his lateral movement down low defensively, particularly in the fourth quarter, the footwork was there. Everything was there as far as Joel Embiid goes, and it's there, but it's not all there yet, I don't think. And there's still so much improvement that can come from him. And that is so exciting. The guy is just that good. And then, of course, Tyrese Maxey, I just think the game is so much easier for him when Joel Embiid is out there. He comes back from injury. He scores you 37 points, dishes out 11 assists, grabs 9 rebounds, and has 1 turnover. That's what I love the best, just 1 turnover. Kelly Oubre hits you some big shots down there at the end. He goes for 18 points. He gets you 8 rebounds. Embiid, 29 points. He was minus 19, but he went 33 minutes last night. He's amping it up. What I said, I think I said this yesterday. I think we were on air when I said it, but Nick Nurse is going to look to amp him up to get to that full 12-minute first quarter, how he likes to use Joel Embiid. Didn't do it last night. I think he went 6. Then he sat, but then he brought him back for the last couple of minutes of the first quarter. So he's getting him almost fully amped up. Although he went 33 minutes, it's not the 33 minutes in the type of way that Nick Nurse is going to use him come playoff time. So that was all good to see. There was a little something that happened last night. You might think it was out of necessity because of certain people that were sitting. I think it might be a preview into what we're going to see in the playoffs. So we'll talk about that. Sixers are still in the 8th seed. They're half a game behind the Heat, 1 game behind the Pacers for that 6th spot. Should they get that, then everything changes. So we'll have to see how they're going to try to play this out. What's more important, getting to that 6th spot at all costs, or is it more important to make sure that Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris sat out last night. Is it better to make sure those guys are all healthy? Thought it was a little telling last night that Buddy Hield only played 12 minutes. He did go 0 for 6 from the floor and 0 for 4 from 3. So they have to find his rhythm. Buddy Hield has to be a part of this team moving forward, probably off the bench. I would guess. We'll talk about that, but they got to get Buddy Hield going for this team to be I don't want to say it's Buddy Hield to make them a force in the playoffs, but it's a piece that they're going to need. All right, your Flyers, they're at Buffalo tonight. They have lost 5 in a row. It's a down time. The good part of it is they've been off since Monday. So they'll come back tonight fresh in Buffalo. What do you do with the goaltending situation? Do you give the team kind of a kick in the butt and go with your backup goalie? Do you go with Sam Ersson? I would assume it's Ersson tonight, but it's John Tortorella, and you never know. Here's a guy that sat Travis Konechny for the first 7 minutes of the third period the other night. Here's a guy that sat the captain for 2 healthy scratches a couple weeks ago. Couturier also is out for the next 2 games as he has an upper body injury, so they'll have to do without him. I know there's some people out there that are probably thinking, oh, good, that doesn't really matter, but it does. You need healthy bodies down this stretch. They're still third in the Metro, so they're still clinging on to their playoff hopes. I don't know what you do with the goalie situation. I don't know if you go with Fedotov. Is that a gamble that you want to take? Is it a necessity? Has Ersson played his best, and now he's kind of worn out? Rookie year, didn't expect to play this much at all. So maybe they do. We'll see what Tortorella decides to do tonight. I think a key thing is, where are they mentally? And our own Colin Newby was down at Flyers practice yesterday and talked to a lot of players and shared with me yesterday afternoon after the show what a lot of them had to say about how John Tortorella has handled this team. And pretty much to a man, they're okay with it. They're good. They understand what he's doing. And Tortorella talked about being transparent, being honest. And sometimes his honesty is brutal. But if he believes it is, it's all honesty and the players are there with it. Okay, good. So hopefully they're where they need to be mentally right now. 6:45 tonight, you have the Philadelphia Phillies playing at the Washington Nationals in hopefully a game that you're not dodging any raindrops, because I'm kind of getting sick and tired of gray baseball. So hopefully you'll have some good weather down there. Aaron Nola goes against Patrick Corbin tonight. Corbin stinks. They should light him up like a Christmas tree. So here's hoping that they do. Now, something I'm looking for this weekend, and it's not a big deal at all, but I just kind of want to see it. I want to see some lineup stability. I want to see 1 through 8, 1 through 9. I want to see it be the same over these 3 games this weekend. Yeah, you got lefty-righties going and all that, and I know Rob Thompson loves to switch it up. I just want to see some stability. I do. I want to see some wins, too. I'm not this, oh, my God, they're 2-4 after 6 games, look out. No, but you know what's weird? The rest of the division is 6-19. It's crazy. There's not a lot of good starts there. There's only one team above 500. Look good. The Marlins are 0-8, I believe. Mets just got their first win yesterday. So got to take a little bit of advantage. I would love to see the Phillies get hot. I would love to see them go down there and trounce the Nationals a little bit. Tomorrow you have Ranger Suarez going in a 4 o'clock game. Sunday it's Christopher Sanchez at 1:35. And tonight, this is what excites Ray. I'm an X's and O's guy. I like to break down games. I like to see the little intricacies of the coaches. Not for Ray Dunn. The most exciting thing for him tonight is that the Phillies are going to be wearing their City Connect uniforms. So he's all pumped up about that. It's all he can talk about. This morning we were show prepping and also watching the morning show, Kincade and Salciunas, and he's sitting there making his drawings of the City Connect uniform and all that. So whatever excites you, I'm happy for you. All right, Eagles, obviously not a lot going on, but at 12 o'clock today, Bill Colarulo is going to join us for the rest of the show. He's going to stay with me from 12 to 2. So I'm going to play a little game with him, and I'll play it with you guys also. I'm going to just throw out names, and I want him to on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being very, very likely, of what chances the Eagles have of drafting what player I throw out to him. If you want to play along, we'll ask you to call in. I'll give you the name. I'll give you a synopsis of that player, the position he plays, and I want you to grade it out, 1 through 5. 1 meaning, nah, no chance they're going to draft him. 5 meaning there's a really good chance of drafting him. Tonight, nationally, It is the women's Final Four, and I'll tell you, it's gotten more attention than I think any time I've been alive. But North Carolina State versus South Carolina. South Carolina's going for an undefeated season. Amazing when Dawn Staley has no starters back from a team that went to the national semifinal last year. No starters back. And she's going on an undefeated season. That is just incredible. And what also is incredible, she's not even the top story in college basketball. She's just not. That belongs to Caitlin Clark, and the Iowa Hawkeyes will host UConn tonight in the second game at 9:30. That should be a lot of fun to watch. I'm anxious to see how Gino Auriemma dials up a defense for Caitlin Clark. As I told you yesterday, I had people text me saying that, the women's game is just letting her go because they're not double teaming her. They're not taking the ball out of her hands. Iowa doesn't allow it. They're the highest scoring team in the country. If you haven't seen them, if the other team scores or if they get a rebound, they're getting a shot up almost right away. And you can't run and double somebody when they're getting outlet passes and stuff like that to other people and scoring easy layups. It's just a fun brand of basketball to watch. So if you're a basketball fan, I encourage you, give that a look tonight. Tomorrow night, men's Final Four, North Carolina State, Purdue. I think that starts around 6:10. And then, and we have something planned tomorrow that I just found out yesterday. But 6:10 tomorrow, NC State, Purdue, Alabama, Connecticut. The game following that, that's your men's national semifinals. I got Ricky doing the UConn hand gestures over here, which is cool. I find it unbelievable. UConn, what are you looking at? Why are you so confused, Ray?
It's just early to see Ricky.
Yeah, he is here early. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's going to come in and sit with us. Who knows? But UConn and NC State, congratulations, having your men and women in the Final Four. That is absolutely awesome. I also want to play a little game with you today. And we're going to have a prize to give away. We're just waiting for Ray to actually do his job and find out what that prize may be. But we're going to play a little game. I want to do a fun Friday sports story from the week. What's your fun Friday sports story from the week? Maybe it involves your kid playing Little League or something like that. But what's your fun story of the week? I have one that I neglected to bring up. I wrote it in my notes on Tuesday and forgot to bring it up all week. And it has nothing to do with me or nothing personal. I just thought this was fun. And I think it was brought up on the Sixers telecast or whatever. I don't remember where I heard it. Nick Nurse is a basketball nut. He can't get enough of it. I've heard him described like that. The few times I've sat down and talked to him, it's evident. He is just a basketball nut. So what does a basketball nut do when you have an off day? You go find a basketball game, right? Either on the TV or maybe there's a local high school, like Fran Dunphy at LaSalle. He'll text me all the time. Oh, I'm over in South Jersey watching this game, that game, the other game. Yeah, a lot of it's recruiting, but I think the guy's just a basketball nut. So Monday, Nick Nurse didn't really have much going on. What does he do? He heads up to Albany, New York to watch Caitlin Clark play. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. That's my fun sports story of the week. Like, I like that about Nick Nurse. You got to go find a game. Albany's only a few hours away. Let's head on up there and go watch Caitlin Clark play. I love that, that he's a basketball nut like that. That's my Friday fun sports story of the week. What's yours? Let us know. 610-632-0975. But, of course, we want to talk sports on that first. And there's so many things to take away from this Sixers win that I want to get into. But I also want to say hello to my producer today, Ray Dunn. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. I do have a few corrections from the opening segment already.
Corrections?
Corrections. The Philadelphia Phillies City Connect jerseys that I'm apparently thrilled about.
You were doodling today.
I know, yeah. I was so excited.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're doing it.
Am I wrong?
So
They're not
excited.
Tonight?
I love Nike so much. Yeah, it's going to be next Friday. They're the
I'm sorry.
home Fridays.
I thought it's weird because I read it. Somebody made a mistake then. Because I read it and I jotted down in my notes. Why are they doing them away?
They're not.
Okay, I'm
so
sorry.
Home Friday nights. You get
so
to
you
see
have
them.
a whole week of doodling.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
I'm just building up now. Okay. This has been so exciting for me. I was so excited that the MLB would be able to come into Philadelphia.
Person.
Yeah, I just thought, what more do I need for my baseball team? And it's uniforms that don't match the colors that they've been since, my entire life. But anyways, also for our prize today,
Oh, we do have a prize.
We do have a prize. Yeah, a pair of tickets to see Neil Young and Crazy Horse on May 12th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion.
Oh, nice.
So,
Neil Young and Crazy. I'd love to see Neil Young.
Well, there you go.
Maybe I can win.
Yeah.
So far, I'm in the lead.
Yeah, you are in the lead.
With the best Friday fun sports story.
Correct.
Yeah, so we have that.
Other than that, yeah, I'm doing great, Bob. Good to see you.
Okay, good night last night. I know you went out to dinner with your parents.
Yes.
Your dad did your taxes.
Yeah, we did get through my taxes.
All right, we happy?
Yeah. No.
Uncle Sam's happy?
Yes. Freelancing is a heck of a world to be taxed at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's nice to get that money then, but to give it back later kind of sucks.
Yeah, this morning hurt. Luckily, it's payday here.
Oh,
So,
it is. You're right.
Yeah, we'll just a few more of those to balance out the losses.
So the guy I used to work with, the little guy, what's his name? He wears a hat all the time.
Oh, Pat.
Pat, that's right, Pat.
Yeah.
Pat Egan. He, to take you behind the scenes a little bit, Pat, he's a great dude. I love Pat. You guys all know how much I love Pat. Pat could find the badness in a sunny day on the beach with nothing going on. Well, Pat doesn't like the beach, so that's a bad example. But Pat can always find the I don't want to say badness, but like he'll find the gray cloud anywhere. You know what Pat's worst day is? Like every 2 weeks, worst day is the Monday after payday. He can't stand it. I'm like, what? That's so random. Why do you hate the Monday after payday? Because I pay all my bills and then I realize I'm poor again on Monday. I'm like, come on, dude.
Wow.
Why don't we be happy that you could pay the bills?
I mean, that's a great way
Right?
to look at it, Bob.
Yeah, so.
I mean,
anyway.
I'll be honest. Tax day, least favorite day of the year. Love seeing my parents. Great to spend time with them. I wish we were doing anything else, spending time last night.
Okay, your dad did them for you?
Sure.
You did them together?
Mostly
Yeah.
TurboTax, but yeah.
Okay. I feel for you. I guess my kids did their taxes on their own. We did one of our daughters, I think we did, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
taxes
Nice to get together with the parents.
Yeah. That's very good. You went out, got a nice little bite to eat. I'm always
good
looking
friends
out
at
for your
PJ's.
food. Our good friend PJ's good. You got some what'd you get? Garlic parm wings?
Yeah.
Good man.
Fantastic.
All right.
Always
very
good. The fried pickle as well.
Oh, I like the fried pickles.
So, yeah, it was good
The first
stuff.
time I ever had fried pickles, I was on the road. I think it was in Oklahoma City. It was the first time I ever had fried
Really?
pickles in my life. Yeah. Never, no.
They're fantastic.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice little. It's
Great
got a little kick
appetizer.
to it,
Yeah.
too. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think I want to go to PJ's when I'm done here today. All right, what we want to do is take a closer look at that 76ers game last night. I just thought they played really, really well. They get out to the 17-2 start. You're kind of did this on the morning show when I stopped in for a little bit. It's the NBA. It's a diarrhea game, a game of runs. That's just what it is. It's always been that way. It'll always be that way. Was there a chance did it come into my mind, oh, Sixers are going to go out to a 40-point win tonight. How cool is that? No, never did, even up 17-2. Miami's too good for that. They cut it to 10 at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, back and forth. They cut it down to 2, I believe. Sixers build it back up. But the Sixers take an 8-point lead into half, looking okay. It gets to the 5-minute mark of the third, and they're up 10. And I kid you not, Ray, I'll show you my phone if I have to show you proof. I got a text from a friend saying, man, they look good tonight. I said, yes, but watch out. 5 minutes, they're down 10, and Miami goes zone. And I said, here comes the zone. They go full court press, boom, turnover by Campaign, layup and a foul. Boom, turnover by Campaign, 3-point. Miami scores 6 quick points just by changing defenses. And then they go to their zone. And look, I know against the zone, if you make shots, that'll, kill the zone or whatever. Rarely do teams go zone when they're down 10 points. But that's how much Eric Spoelstra loves his zone defense, how well his team plays it. And it did. It turned the Sixers upside down. And next thing you know, they're like an 8-10-point deficit, and all because of this zone. And you're thinking, like, my God, how can a zone be that confusing for an NBA team? Well, it was pretty simple. And Ray, it was so funny. I was just about to text Ala Abdelnaby during the game, which I'll do every once in a while. I don't like to interrupt him, but he and I have good back and forth. And I was going to say, why is Eric Spoelstra's zone so effective? Now, in the NBA, there's length. They play a matchup zone, too. And I've been calling for this for years. I don't know why more NBA teams don't play matchup zone, because it's less wear and tear on your legs. If you learn how to play it well, it's really, really effective. Rarely does a guy get an open look. So they play it really well. And I'm watching, I'm like, oh, my God, this zone just always befuddles the Sixers. And then I'm watching, and the Sixers start making some shots, and I said, no, it's not that it's befuddling them. It's that the Sixers weren't making shots. And then all of a sudden they start making shots. And, boy, that makes the team look really good when they start to do that. So Kelly Oubre, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Oubre especially down the stretch, they carry that Sixers team into a win last night, which was really, really good. And Joel Embiid, I thought was spectacular. 29 points last night. Only had 4 rebounds or something like that, I believe. Had a couple assists, but only had 1 turnover. I appreciate that more than anything else. When you're rusty, when the ball handling isn't there, a lot of times that will cause turnovers. But there's a lot of different things last night about that Sixers win that I want to talk to you about. So 610-632-0975. Let's talk about that Sixers win. What did you notice? How do you feel about this team moving forward? Because when we get back, I have a little nugget that I think we saw last night that's going to become the norm, and it was started by our friend Ray Dunn. So we'll look at that and a whole lot more. Plus, get a chance to win tickets if you tell me your fun Friday sports story from the week. This is Midday Show. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers find a way. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by AAA Car Care. Save $70 on select sets of 4 Nokian tires now through April 15th only at AAA Car Care Centers. Details at AAA.com/mycar. The 76ers beat the Heat 105 last night in Miami. The Sixers closed the game on a 15-3 run. Kelly Oubre 18 points, 7 of them coming
appears to just have hit the area. We went to break. I felt it under my feet, and I felt my chair shaking and all. And I go into Ray. I have a button that I push that I can talk to Ray. And I said, "You feel that?" And he's like, "What?" And then he looked up. What'd you look at? A monitor in the
the mic.
Oh,
the mic was just shaking.
Oh, and his mic was shaking pretty badly. I went out, and all the the morons out there that are sitting there doing whatever they do after a show. I said, "You feel that?" And they're like, "What?" So they're in the middle of a floor, so it's hard to feel it when you're among a lot of people. But yeah, I've been getting a bunch of texts. I called my wife over in Jersey. She felt it. Our house shook over there. Karate Mark, who was just here for the morning show, said he was in Northeast Philly. He goes, "My God, we just got an earthquake. It's shaking over here." So check on your loved ones. Everybody's okay. Put on the news, whatever you have to do. I have put a request out to our big boss, Joe Bell. I would like him to come in here and just let us know that whether we're staying on the air or do we have to leave or not. I'm thinking maybe we have to call it a day, Ray.
I'm already halfway out the door.
Yeah, it's not good. You got to be nervous about it.
I am. I mean,
just make sure you all check on your loved ones. I'm supposed to take a call here. Somebody's checking on their loved ones. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Who is this?
I am checking on my pop-up.
Pat Egan!
This is Pat, and I'm making sure that my pop-up is safe, and he's under a doorway, and he has not fallen into the San Andreas Fault.
I am under the desk. Everything's good. I found a hard hat that I had from when I helped build the Eiffel Tower. So I have that on my head, Pat. I'm under the desk. I'm okay. It means so much to me that you called Pop-Up to check on me.
Absolutely. I think this is further proof that when the Phillies release bad jerseys, things like this happen.
Is everything safe at your house? Are the kids okay? Is Rye Guy all right?
Yeah, he's screaming downstairs. He'll live. But
he made it through his first earthquake.
Yeah, the dog's a little freaked out. J-Roll's not doing well. Don't know if that's jersey related or just earthquake related. But everybody in Roxborough is safe, I think.
Okay.
I haven't really been outside.
Well, I appreciate you checking in on Pop-Up. How have you been? I miss you.
I miss you too. I was good until the earth started shaking, and I don't know. I feel like an idiot tweeting out like, "Hey, was that an earthquake?" And then everyone was like, "Yeah, it was an earthquake." So.
Well, the people in the office, if I go behind the scenes here, were making fun of me a little bit because I went out and I said, "Everybody feel that?" And two of the sales guys were like, "No, I didn't." I said, "Yeah, there was an earthquake. The studio shook. I just heard from my wife and Pat. They both felt it." And right away they said, "Are they together?" And I was like, "Oh, come on." Like they went there.
Yeah, well, me and Donna hang out now that I've got a little free time in the mornings and middays. Me and Donna have gotten close, and we go to the farmer's market and whatnot, and we're supposed to do it later today, but I don't know if the plans have changed now.
She's
that
a little shook over there, Pat, I got to tell you. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, so I'm just glad you're safe, though. Is Ray safe?
Ray's good. He didn't even feel it. He doesn't have many feelings in there, but
I mean, the last time that we had an earthquake in Philly, Ray was about 4 years old. So
yeah, I remember that one too. But
yeah, but the good thing is, I think the last time there was an earthquake in Philly, the Phillies were good. So this 2-4 stretch it's gonna turn around now.
Maybe this is the shakeup they needed, Pat. Well, I appreciate you checking in on your Pop-Up. You're a good man.
All right, love you, Bobby.
All right, love you too, buddy. The great Pat Egan. That's cool. He's just checking in. He wanted to make sure we were all okay. That's a good man.
He's a great man.
Yeah. So you didn't feel a thing. You just noticed it because your mic was shaking.
Bob, I got to be locked in on this update. If this update doesn't get read, what are we doing here?
Good point.
Trying to do my job over here. And next thing you know, I got you freaking out across the studio.
I wasn't freaking out. I just thought it was funny.
I mean, we'll replay the tape. You start running for your life.
I was diving under every table I could find.
I couldn't believe when I walked out there that you had pushed Andrew to the ground and had run out the front door.
See, that's what I do.
There.
I protect. No, I was laying on top of him to protect him in case anything started falling down.
Yeah, well, you said it, and I just started seeing that the mic was shaking. And I was like, the mic hasn't shook like that since I read my first update on the air. I'm not nervous like that anymore. But the mic was bouncing up and down, and I was like, oh. All right. Well, there you go.
There was something there. We'll get. I'm sure. I'm going to put on the news so we can keep an eye. Maybe they'll let us know. What does that remind you of? Anything in sports? Right.
An earthquake is in maybe a team today that technically the Giants, but I was thinking Also thinking Oakland while I was thinking about the Bay Area because the A's have been on my mind since this Sacramento crap. But yeah, the Giants and World Series.
1989. I remember exactly where I was. I'm sitting down I was at my parents' house. I was sitting downstairs, had the game on, and I'll never forget it. Al Michaels talking, and then all of a sudden the screen started shaking. Things went blank. But their mics either came back quickly or stayed on the whole time. But Al Michaels went right into reporter mode. He was, oh, we're having a bad earthquake here, and went down on the field, and he was phenomenal reporting things, talking to players. You saw scared players going into the stands, grabbing their families, and walking out onto the field. And then as that went on, it became a news story. Obviously, they canceled the game. I think it was close to a 7 earthquake, like 6.9, I think it was, something like that. But then they started showing all the damage around San Francisco and Oakland and stuff, and that was devastating. And your heart bleeds, like with Japan going through it a few days ago. It's so horrible, and so we can kind of joke about it. Hopefully it was nothing major. If you felt something, if you want to share anything, feel free, 610-632-0975. But to keep it on sports, we're looking for your Fun Friday sports story. I told you mine. I thought it was pretty fun that Nick Nurse decided to just head on up to Albany, New York on an off day this week to go see Caitlin Clark play. I thought that was pretty good. Do you have one? Could be personal, could be something bigger. You have a chance to win 2 tickets to Neil Young and Crazy Horse. So if you have a fun sports story, be sure to share it. Okay, breaking news. Here it is. 4.8 magnitude earthquake hits New Jersey. Shaking felt across Northeast, including Philadelphia. So the great state of New Jersey was the one that was hit by this. Prayers out to everybody. We're not making light of it. We hope everybody is safe. We hope everybody is okay. If you need to get somewhere, do it, whatever you have to do. If you need to take your mind off of it, we're here for you, 610-632-0975. I'll say it one more time because I guess we have to address this, right? I don't know if it's safe for us to stay on the air for the rest of the day. So, if Joe Bell wants to come in here and tell us, it's okay, guys, we'll go to best of. I don't know if they can find a best of us, though. We've only been on for 3 weeks.
I said it's an It Happened segment. We have an It Happened.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't have a best of. We have an It Happened.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And things that happened on this show. Not exactly the best of this show.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we could go there.
Yeah.
But, all right, so last night, your 76ers, they get the win. Impressive. Very, very impressive last night. You didn't have Tobias Harris. You have Joel Embiid back for the second. If you would have showed me that game last night, and I knew nothing, like I knew who Joel Embiid was, I know the Sixers, all that, but I knew nothing that it was second game back after being out for 2 months, and you just showed me that game and said, watch Joel Embiid, what do you think? I would have been, yeah, that's spectacular. That's Joel Embiid. No chance he looks like a guy that has just missed 2 months of action, which is great for Philadelphia fans. Here's the little snippet that I will put out to you. And I want to ask you this question about this, but here's the snippet I'll put out to you. No Tobias Harris last night. So you had a starting lineup that consisted of course, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Kyle Lowry. Those are givens. Maybe Kelly Oubre's a given for you, probably. But I brought this up earlier. They started Nick Batum last night. Is this your starting 5 going forward to the playoffs? I want to ask you that. Are you okay with it? If it is, take away your Tobias Harris. I hate the word hate. Take away your Tobias Harris thinking of contract and this and that and the other. Might this be the best starting lineup for the Sixers going into the playoff? I'll say it again. Nick Batum, Joel Embiid, Kyle Lowry, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre. If you do go with something like that, if Nick Nurse decides to go with something like that, that means that you have Tobias Harris coming off the bench. Obviously, Paul Reed is put in his role of 12, 15 minutes behind Joel Embiid. He had a good night last night. He only had 4 points, but he was a plus 23 in the 15 minutes that he was on the floor. That's good. Buddy Hield, obviously, you got to get more out of him, but he'll be coming off your bench. Are you good with Tobias Harris coming off the bench? And more importantly, is he good with it? Because he hasn't done it since 2016-17. So what is your ultimate Sixers starting lineup moving forward, and what is your rotation? I don't want to hear, get Tobias out of there, he stinks. because he's a start. Forget his name, forget his contract. He's a starter that averages you 17 points and 7 rebounds a game and plays good defense on number 4, number 5s, or 3 or 4s. So you can't just dismiss that. Forget the name, forget the contract. What is your starting 5 moving forward? What is your rotation moving forward with this Sixers team? I think Nick Nurse has gone through it a million times in his head. I didn't mention DeAnthony Melton because I just don't think he's going to be back. It's a shame. The back problem that he has just seems to prohibit him from getting onto the floor. If he does come back, great. That's a piece off the bench. You're not throwing him into a starting lineup. But what is your starting lineup? What do you want to see moving forward? Now, Kyle Lowry again last night, 34 minutes. He had you 8 points, just, I think, 5 assists, a few rebounds. But he was just that Kyle Lowry pain in the ass to the Miami Heat. You know, a guy gets a rebound, he pokes it away. Sixers get another possession. Just little things like that, drawing charges, all the things that he does. I still think he's in the lab. I do. It feels to me like he's out there and he's in the lab thinking, okay, this Joel Embiid guy, this is pretty fun to play with. Let me figure out how best to play with him. Let me figure out how to come off a pick from him, how to get him the ball in the post. Where does he want it? I think he's figuring all those things out. Tyrese Maxey was your primary ball handler last night. If you notice, bringing it up the floor, Lowry was off the ball an awful lot. Makes sense because you love that pick and roll game with Embiid and Maxey, and they run it really, really well. I think once Kyle Lowry gets more used to it, there will be more ball handling situations for him as the team moves forward. But look at it. What do you like? What do you think about what Joel Embiid, where he is now? What do you think of the Sixers team, the way they are playing? Has it changed your outlook of how they may be in the playoffs this year? Because John Kincade put it to me earlier. He said, besides the Celtics, what other teams scare you and all? Well, I kind of wanted to turn it around a little bit. The Sixers are very scary. The Sixers scare everybody. And you could say, oh, Boston is that much better and all. Okay, but Boston hasn't seen the Sixers team. They haven't seen Joel Embiid with Kyle Lowry or with Kelly Oubre all that much, especially not with a Buddy Hield. All of these things, they're all new. And I think the Sixers are one of the scarier teams going into the playoffs to face. Forget about, like when John put it to me, I answered his question, but right away in my mind, who are the Sixers afraid of? Nah, I think everybody's afraid of the Sixers. So give us your thoughts on that. 610-632-0975. You can text us. You can call us. You know we love our great conversations here. Hello to all our YouTube friends and family. We adore you. We thank you for being with us, as you always are. So we're going to have a fun day today here on Middays. 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. A lot more Sixers talk when we get back here on Middays. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic.
We are talking sports with you all day, every day. You can call our shows at 6-1.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of fallout from the earthquake that happened. It's official, 10:25 around this morning. It was centered in what appears to be North Jersey. 4.8 magnitude earthquake that we felt here just as we went to break. Talking to different people around. Bill Collarula, who's going to join us at 12, so he'll stay with us for the rest of the day. He said he was driving. He thinks he was on the bridge. He didn't really feel anything. My wife in Cherry Hill felt it, said the whole house shook. All of that. The people, the dingbats here in our, that are back there with, the Dylan McKinnons and the Sylvana Kelleher's and those guys, I don't know if they're smart enough to feel an earthquake, so they said they didn't feel a thing, right? Dylan, you didn't feel anything at all back there while you were doing all the great things you do for this radio
I'm
station?
too athletic. I can keep my stability and not feel it.
Okay, so you didn't feel a thing?
No, I didn't feel anything.
Okay. Now, there's, as it was centered up in North Jersey, people are saying that it might have been Mets fans just reacting to their horrible start of the season. Oh, did you see this? I wanted to bring this up to you, Ray.
We're back.
Yeah, you're back. Nice you to join us. Did you see on Twitter the Mets TV announcer yesterday? So it's like the fifth or sixth inning. They're playing. They're getting no hit. They're losing. They're already 0-5 on the season. So the radio guy, or the TV guy, and I'm paraphrasing, he says, yeah, look at this. Nobody's here, and the camera spans there's like 8 people there. He's like, nobody's here, 0-5, and we're getting no hit in the sixth inning. I think we've hit rock bottom. This is what the announcer said for the New York Mets yesterday. And all I could think of was Pat Egan, who is the biggest Mets hater I've ever met in my life, was probably happy as could be that happened. But as we talk about, we hope everybody is safe. Check on people up in North Jersey. If you have anybody up there, make sure you check on them. Hope to God there was no damage and obviously no injuries from this. But, yeah, if you felt a little something, it's official. There was an earthquake at around 10:25 this morning. Ray, nothing. He's like, just I don't know. I don't know if you have feelings sometimes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm getting to know you better and better through the 2.5, now 3. It's going to be 15 shows.
Yeah, this is the end of our third week.
And, sometimes I think I have a pretty good grasp. And then other times it's just like I look at you and it's just like blank.
Blank?
It's like looking at a bed sheet. Like there's just like nothing there. Yeah. So I worry about you sometimes. I just figure that's part of your personality. But, yeah, we're going through a major earthquake. And I'm sitting here shaking in my seat. I'm like, hey, you all right? And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Huh? And I'm like, look at your
Locked in on
microphone.
the update. I wanted to make sure that the show was moving. I had to get you the contest or the prize. I had to get you a ton of things. I did check in on my family in North Jersey.
Oh,
They're
did you?
okay.
Good.
So, yeah.
All right, good. So that's a little fun happening. Where were you during the earthquake of 2024? Somebody said, I don't know if it was Twitter, if I read it on one thing, it's the biggest earthquake in the Northeast has felt in quite a while. Now, we had one in 2010, I believe,
yes.
Somebody said. I remember that day. I was lying on my couch. My kids were at the pool, and I remember my wife called me right away. I said, yeah, I'm headed right to the pool. And I go up to the pool. Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Don't forget that.
For the earthquake of 2024.
Right here.
So I hope everybody's safe and sound. Do what you have to do. We're still waiting word from our boss, Joe Bell, if it's safe to go on with the show. We think it is. We think we're okay. But if he wanted to stop in and let us know for sure, we'd love to, just get it official so that we don't have to leave you early. So listen, what we're talking about here is Philadelphia 76ers last night. I thought it was a really fun, good win. Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid combined for 51 shots last night. Is that something that turns you off a little bit? I'm watching it, and I'm saying, all right, come on, you need a little something more from, and you got it. From Kelly Oubre, you got the 18 points. Nick Batum doesn't score. Kyle Lowry only gets you 8. You only get like 16, 17 points off of your bench, including an 0 for 6 from the floor and 0 for 4 from 3 effort from Buddy Hield. You got to get more from him. But you do wind up getting a combined 84 of 109 from Embiid, Maxey, and Oubre, and just a really fun win. And the Sixers turned it up a little bit. I thought they rebounded really well in the fourth quarter, only allowing Miami to score 17 points in that fourth quarter. If you go into a game that's pretty even against Miami and you tell me one team scores 17 in the fourth, I'm probably going to take whoever Miami's playing against because Eric Spoelstra is just such a good coach, gets the most out of his team, especially on the defensive end. But it was the Sixers who held Miami to 17 in that fourth quarter last night. Sixers only getting 22 themselves, but timely baskets. And end the game on a 15-3 run, was it, Ray?
15-3.
Yeah, just amazing. Kelly Oubre came up with some big baskets. You know, it was funny. I was thinking to Bill Raftery. He's got onions. And I talked about it before. Kelly Oubre doesn't think that much out on the basketball court. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. Sometimes it'll frustrate you. Like he'll drive through a lane, sometimes jump in the air and have no idea where he's going. Sometimes he makes some stupid passes that just, you're like, But what I like about it is he goes out there and doesn't think. He just plays. And I said before, I wish I could attribute some of that thought process over to Tobias Harris, where he would just go out there and not think and just play. And just find his game and play. And Kelly Oubre has been such a nice find for this Philadelphia 76ers team this year for Nick Nurse. And I put it out there to you. You had a starting lineup last night of Nick Batum, Joel Embiid, Kyle Lowry, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre. Is that your starting lineup going into the playoffs? Ray Dunn radically brought it up the other day, saying that he wouldn't start Tobias Harris. He would like to bring him off the bench. I countered that with, I looked it up, he hasn't done that since the 16-17 season, coming off the bench. So you're asking a veteran to do something totally out of the ordinary. Well, maybe that gives him some spark. Maybe it gives the team some spark. What would you do? Ray, would you go with this lineup currently that they had last night, I should say, with Tobias Harris out last night? But if he was healthy, this is the lineup you would go into the playoffs with?
Yes, absolutely. I would go with this lineup. I think we covered the other day pretty in-depth on the whole Batum and Embiid and why it's better to have him out there, what he brings. I think example of the Batum experience, I think he ended up with 7 assists.
Yes.
And you had a number of times where it was just him smacking away at basketballs, trying to get it to his teammates on rebounds and a couple of tip outs. It's fun watching him and Lowry operate in the same lineup. Like just, Batum's going to knock it this way. Lowry's going to try to knock it this way. The two of them are just trying to get down, be gritty. And again, it's a 35-year-old and a 38-year-old diving all over the floor, trying to knock the ball to one another to try and save possessions. So it's cool to watch them operate together. But I think those two, and of course having Batum with Embiid maximizes what you get from him. And then you look at the bench last night and you say, okay, well, you only got 17 points there. Well, all right, Tobias, there you go. There's your impact. Your impact is coming in scoring off the bench, and if you do believe you're that type of scorer, well, lift that second unit. Give us some of the minutes that, while we're pining to get something out of Buddy Hield, let's get something out of Tobias Harris in a different role than, hey, go stand over there and wait for Tyrese and Embiid to initiate this offense. Like, I think you maximize what you can get from him. I think you just have to bargain with him in the sense of this is why it benefits you.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. That would leave you with a rotation that would consist of, as you said, Tobias Harris. Paul Reed's going to give you backup minutes to Joel Embiid, and he's really stepped throat, I think, since Mo Bamba's been out the last couple of games. Buddy Hield, and, those likes campaign, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? What starting lineup, what rotation would you like to see Nick Nurse go with heading into these playoffs? 610-632-0975. Also, we're going to make this a regular thing. We want your Friday fun sports story. Fun that happened in sports. It could have been something you picked up from, I don't know, Los Angeles. Maybe you saw something fun out there watching TV. Whatever it may be. If you can give us that, we'll get you 2 tickets to Neil Young, get you ready, or get you in the drawing for 2 tickets to Neil Young and Crazy Horse. So we got all that on the board, a whole lot more. Jim Curtin from the Union is going to join us at 11:30. Bill Colarulo will join us in studio for the rest of the day, coming up at 12. This is Middays, Bob Cooney, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
A big win in Miami. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate.
Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios. Powering possibilities. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. This is Philadelphia News. Now, more with Bob Cooney. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
That's right. We break all the last break we came back. We broke it to you that there was an earthquake centered in North Jersey that was felt all through the Northeast. I think it said it went up as high north as Boston even felt it. Down here, Philadelphia, obviously we all got a little piece of it. But we have more breaking news. You ready for this, Ray?
Now, breaking sports news from 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Somebody has declared themselves eligible for the NBA draft. I know your mind goes a whole bunch of places. You think of the best players in college basketball. Ooh, who could it be? Could it be this sophomore from Duke, this freshman from Syracuse, something like that? No. How about a freshman who didn't really start all that much and averaged about 4 or 5 points a game from USC? That's right. We're talking Bronny James has just declared himself eligible for the NBA draft. But he's also in the transfer portal. So he's going to weigh his options that way. This doesn't mean he's going directly to the NBA. But I did call during the break. I called a local college basketball coach real quick because I had a question about something. I said, yeah, Bronny's in the transfer portal. You're going to have him in? He goes, oh, yeah. We're having him in tomorrow. Yeah. No. I said, oh, really? That's good. I said, his dad turns out pretty nice guy, too. He goes, oh, I haven't heard of his dad. And I said, yeah, whatever. Just kidding, Ray. I don't think Bronny's coming anywhere near here. But how do you handle that as an NBA?
Prep later.
Like, how do you handle that as an NBA team? I mean, it says he's going to go visit NBA teams. Hey, it must have been a really good USC that you played on that you couldn't start for. Like, hey, Bronny, how are you? You're nowhere close to being an NBA player, but you're probably part of a package deal.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you handle that. You be kind to the guy.
Would you? Would you waste a 10th pick on him?
Oh, no. I'm not picking him, but if he's visiting, I'd have him in for the visit. You kidding me?
No, all right, but carry it further. Say he does declare himself eligible for the draft. Say that does happen. He says, no, forget the transfer portal. I'm in the draft. You're a team that has the 10th overall pick. You draft him. You know LeBron's not far behind. 10th? Too high?
Depends where I am as a team, but yeah, I consider it.
Think of it. If you're the 10th team, you're you're not a playoff team. You're probably a losing record. You're
with this play-in tournament, if the Lakers don't win a game in the play-in tournament, they could be pretty close to the 10th pick.
Yeah, that would be stupid. I don't know. How high would you go to take him if you had the assurance that LeBron James is to follow? Is LeBron James and Bronny James worth a top 5 pick?
Likely with where those teams are, unless maybe if you're the Grizzlies and you get everyone back healthy and you add LeBron to it. That could be it.
Okay.
Like, depending on situation, if you're one of those teams that just everyone got hurt, you bottomed out, and you had a disaster of a season.
Absolutely situational is what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm a situational guy. You know?
Is that what you are?
Yeah.
You're a situational guy?
Yeah. If the situation's right, why not? Figure it out. Listen, I would entertain it. I know we've had the advancer going on the station of Kincade and Salciunas going back and forth over, Andrew, I go take him with the first overall pick to get LeBron here. I wouldn't go like that. But if I was the Grizzlies and it was like, you know what, you can get LeBron and you trust that Ja's coming back and everything's going to be taken care of, you get everyone else healthy that's been out this season, you're like, you know what, we could add LeBron to this mix? I don't shut the door on him, that's for sure.
No.
He comes in, he tours the facilities, and we have some nice conversations. Question is LeBron hanging out in Memphis?
I talked to you about how, good point. I talked to you how much about how the transfer portal, all of the to a bit, the NIL things, all of that has, in my eyes, put kind of a on college basketball. if I see an NBA draft come up and I see a team with the 8th overall pick, they select Bronny James, 6'2" guard out of USC. That turns me off so badly. I got to say, it's
a team-building exercise. That's what this is.
I don't know.
Oh, my. The number of times that teams have signed a guy that's either over the hill, doesn't fit with them just because he's buddies with someone else. This is just the old where it's somebody's son. It doesn't happen this way because no one ever survives this league to happen.
All right, Ray Dunn is sitting at his friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have, the beers are flowing and you have a girlfriend making cheesesteaks and all that stuff. And you're watching the NBA draft because, you're sportsmen.
Right.
So you're into it. And then it comes up with the 6th pick in the NBA draft, such and such selects Bronny James. What's your reaction?
Oh, could you imagine if LeBron doesn't sign with them? That's my reaction.
Maybe I'm stupid. What would your reaction be out there? I think this is fun. 610-632-0975. I think I'd be like, oh, my God. What are we coming to? Like, is it coming to the point where you're keeping an eye on a kid that's 19 years old and you're like, oh, does he have any kids yet? I got to look out for the future.
No, but this is the one scenario. Think about LeBron through his career.
Yeah, you're right.
Think about the guys that have gotten jobs just because they followed LeBron. Then my favorite is the J.R. Smith after he was clearly done in the league with the whole save me a spot when he was talking about LeBron building a super team. Like, LeBron has been able to make friends, and his friends just keep getting jobs. They continue. Also, in the league, you think Udonis Haslem still has a place on the bench? Like, you think there's not another guy that could actually go out there and perform?
I'm telling you, there are a few cities that I've been in that a virtual unknown is as loved as Udonis Haslem is in Miami.
But you're telling me there's not someone that'd be more valuable on the court than him?
Yeah, probably.
The idea that Bronny would be the first player in the history of the league that has a job that they don't deserve is hilarious.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even looking at it that way. But it just cracks me up that we've gotten to the point, maybe, of somebody using a draft pick to get somebody's father.
Right. Well, this is literally the only time it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like
first time it's going to happen. We don't know if it's the only.
Dude, how many guys, like, even if you talk about it, someone has a kid at 19. At 19, they have to play in the league.
Till they're 38.
Till they're 38. This league does not allow you to do that. Time doesn't allow you to do that. Talent doesn't allow you to do that.
I don't know. Athletes are changing. Who knows?
They are changing, but how many guys right now are 38 in the league?
No, I hear you.
And 38 where you would draft the player to be valuable.
More likely to happen.
Yeah, baseball could happen. But also you're drafting the kid, unless he is a superstar at 18, he is not skyrocketing through the minor leagues to get to the bigs right away.
No,
this is such a rare example because LeBron James, you can actually have the dialogue of being worth it at this age. There are guys that might make it to 38 in this league and are not even worth drafting the kid in the second round for.
I forgot who said it, but it's a great line. LeBron James is in the longest prime of anyone that has ever played a sport. Because he's probably still in his prime.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. Uncle Frank. Friday. Uncle Frank, I got to hit you with a question first. Where were you during this earthquake?
I never felt it.
All right.
Never felt it. Yeah, I'm out county. Yeah, my daughters are all, everyone else felt it but me. I mean, I'm always stumbling around anyway. So,
yeah, good point. Your life is an earthquake.
It is. So, happy Final Four Friday, friends. All right, listen, no time for dilly-dally.
That's right. Here we go. Right to it, Frank.
Here we go. Oh, by the way, Bronny turning pro is quite farcical. It should never happen. Anyway, I'm always excited for the Final Four, but particularly the women. I mean, it's just tremendous theater, right? I mean, can the Gamecocks go unbeaten? You got Clark versus Bukers. Imagine being on the campuses of UConn and North Carolina State.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, right?
Outrageous excitement. Sixers, huge win. Now here you go. I love how Embiid looks already. It looks like he shed some pounds. And, obviously, guys, he opens up the floor for everyone. I like the two starting. I like Tobias coming off the bench as a spark since he's a veteran. And I think he's got the personality for it.
Interesting.
Yeah, Maxey, almost a triple-double. He was plus 26. Amazing. And I like Kelly Oubre's game. Always answers the bell. And, of course, Lowry. Yeah, he's got all the bells and whistles.
So that starting five that they had out there last night, Uncle Frank, you're okay with that, right?
I'm down like 4 flat tires. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Uncle Frank, listen, have a great weekend. Enjoyed both Final Fours. Always good to hear from you, buddy. All right. Have a good one, Frank. Appreciate that. How about that? He likes the Final Four. The Final Four. He likes the starting five the Sixers put out there last night. I wonder if anybody's going to go against it. I wonder if anybody's going to go against Tobias Harris coming off the bench. He's a veteran. He should be able to do it. Okay, I think that's also your detriment to doing it. That he's a veteran. He's been a starter pretty much his whole career. You're going to ask him to do this. You're running the risk of losing him. Because without knowing up front the ins and outs of Tobias Harris's thinking, just looking from afar, do you think he'd handle it well? I don't know.
I'm not so certain.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is a role. They say, look, you go in there, you're looking to be the number one scorer for that second unit. Just go out there and score. Maybe that's something he wants to hear. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on. Do we have is this real on the phone, you think?
I don't know.
All right. Tedder in Warminster. Tedder, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, buddy? What are you up to?
Nothing much. Driving home and felt this earthquake happen, and I think this is what the Phillies need to turn their season around. So Castellanos nuked tonight, plus 470.
So it took an earthquake to turn this Phillies and Nick Castellano team around.
Hey, we've seen crazier things happen in this world, so.
All right, I'll give that one to you. Thanks for the call, Tedder. Can you feel an earthquake in the car? I guess so. 4.8. Now, Bill Colarulo, who will join us at noon, he was in the car, said he didn't feel a thing. His fiancée was home in the basement of their house in Cherry Hill. She didn't feel a thing. My wife was sitting in her office in our house in Cherry Hill, and she felt it. She was a little, I should call her back, I think, during the next break, because she was a little shook, Ray, about it. But for those just joining in, maybe didn't hear, Uncle Frank didn't feel it. But then again, as we said, his whole life is an earthquake. 4.8 magnitude earthquake, 8 or 5? 4.8, right? Magnitude earthquake hit North Jersey, northern part of New Jersey at 10:25 this morning. We felt it here in Bala Cynwyd. People all around are checking in, saying that they felt it. So hope everybody's safe. But, yes, what you felt underneath you wasn't, a production of whatever you did last night. No, it was a real earthquake. So hope everybody is safe out there. All right, what we're talking about here is what the Sixers put out on the court last night. It seemed from necessity. Tobias Harris was out. He has a left knee contusion. Doesn't appear to be anything major. I don't think. Maybe he misses a game or two, whatever. So with him being out, you got to plug in a different starter. So Nick Batum jumps into the starting lineup last night. So you have a starting lineup of Batum, Embiid, Lowry, Maxey, Oubre. That's Ray's starting lineup for the rest of the year. That's the starting lineup he wants going into the playoffs and try to compete with that. That would leave you a bench with a Tobias Harris coming off the bench, a Buddy Hield, a campaign. Of course, you have Paul Reed, who checks in for Joel Embiid in the 10 to 12 minutes it'll probably only be come playoff time. I don't think you can rely on DeAnthony Melton going forward here. But a really good, fun win last night by the 76ers. And should this be the lineup going forward? Some people agree, yeah. You bring Tobias Harris off the bench. What are the positives and negatives of that? I don't know how he would handle it. This might be the negative. He's been a starter pretty much his whole career, and he's been in the NBA for a long time. How would he handle, hey, Tobias, we're gonna bring you off the bench for 25 minutes a night. But here's the good thing. You're that assassin scorer that your dad calls you. You're going to look to be that with the second unit. Of course, you'd match him up with a Buddy Hield in there also. Tyrese Maxey also would be with that second unit because he plays with them an awful lot. It's interesting because it's getting nitty-gritty time. You only have a few games left in the regular season before you have to get tuned up for the playoffs. I'm sure Nick Nurse has a starting lineup in his mind. I'm sure he has a rotation of what it's going to be. Maybe, just maybe, last night helped fans realize that this might be your best starting five moving forward, I don't think we're going to get a lot of kickback of people saying, no, you have to start Tobias Harris. Now, I understand it, and people aren't big on Tobias Harris, but forget the name, forget the contract. It is a guy that averages 17 and 7. It is a guy that can give you scoring with any unit that he's on. Outside of Joel Embiid, Maxey, and Oubre last night, you only got 8 points between Nick Batum and Kyle Lowry. Like, that is a major hole that you would have to fill in that starting lineup. Can you trust that those three are going to combine for 84 points pretty much on a daily basis? Of course not. So I don't know. I go back and forth on it. I'm not sure. If I'm going to be an advocate for it, here's my biggest reason why. You almost lose Nick Batum if you take him out of the starting lineup. Because what do you bring Nick Batum off the bench for? He's a glue piece with Joel Embiid. You don't bring him off the bench to get you some scoring. You don't bring him off the bench to shut down a number one offensive player on another team. He's just kind of a glue guy. Like you said earlier, Ray, 7 assists, 4 rebounds last night, a couple of steals, a block. He taps balls out when, live balls, 50-50 balls. He seems to tap out a lot to teammates. He's just that glue thing. You don't put glue things on a second unit because the second unit doesn't need glue. A second unit needs sparkles. It needs, a lot of movement, a lot of scoring. It needs all of that. He does not, to me, seem like a second unit guy. So that's the biggest case I would make. I think I'd rather have Batum in there with Joel Embiid starting. And then, your radical plan of Tuesday or whatever day you brought it up, Ray, I think I'm in. I think you've made me see the light, Ray. I'm proud of you.
Join this side. It's the side to be on here right now. And you mentioned, well, can you count on 87 from the three of them in the starting lineup? Well, you might not have to if you don't just get 17 from your bench. If you add a 17-point scorer per game to your bench, that's a little bit of a punch to pack there. Plus, you're looking at kind of the uncertainty of where Embiid's availability is. You hope you get him to the full, first quarter. But if you have Tobias checking in off the bench, it's not, okay, here comes the second unit, and we have now put everyone that is our high, volume guys who can score in volume on the floor to start the game. You're now having someone else that checks in fresh. Right. You can kind of go after them with, even if Embiid can't give you the full 12 to open up a game the way he had before. I think we're going to get to that point. I don't think it's necessarily something we need to. It's not our strongest argument for it. I think the strongest case is what you're saying with Batum and the fact that Tobias would be given a little bit more freedom to do what he does with a second unit. And I understand for some people, well, what does he do? 17 points per game. If he really attacks at it, if he really gets aggressive, you could see him scoring the basketball. And he did show, honestly, in the first game Embiid was back, he looked comfortable playing off Embiid, but he doesn't necessarily need to play off him the way a Batum needs to play off of Embiid.
Yeah, exactly. All those things. Forget, how many times do we say, forget the contract? I understand you can't, and I understand you don't want to, and I understand that is labeled on him always and should be. But at the same time, right, those numbers that you put out there, you cannot forget for a starting unit for a team who he's been the number 3 scorer for so many years. And take away the name, take away the contract, you can't take away 17 and 7. And can that easily adjust? Can that easily be transferred to the bench? I don't know. It's a question. Would you label it a huge, bold move by Nick Nurse if he were to do this? Because it's certainly, you can't say it's a logical move because you haven't seen it before. We haven't seen him come off the bench yet this year at all. So if he does do that, is it a move out of, I don't want to say desperation. Is it a move because he thinks this team needs some kind of a spark? Isn't that what Buddy Hield was gotten for? I don't know. It's interesting. What do you think his reasoning would be? You're Nick Nurse. I just learned that you're starting Nick Batum over Tobias Harris. Nick, how come the change? Why at this point in the season? What is your reasoning? Go.
We're always trying to find things that maximize what this team could do out there. And I think when you look at the veteran presence of a Batum in a lineup with Joel Embiid and what he brings you on the floor, we think that he can help maximize our starting lineup. And if you look at our bench, think about the number of teams in this league that would be excited to have a guy like Tobias Harris coming off of their bench. Think about the number of teams that would just see the ability to score and the number of different things he does Ultimately, it's a change in the starting lineup, but it's going to come down to the way we close out games and the way we finish games. So for Tobias Harris, this is a new rule for him to start the game. But ultimately, there's always a chance he's going to be amongst the 5 guys that close out a game, and he's not. This doesn't move him in the upper echelon of players on our team.
Wow. I got to tell you, I'm thoroughly impressed by your answer there.
Coach speak, man.
Yeah. My next question was, you said the fans will be excited. Other teams, how excited would other teams be to have this luxury? My follow-up question would be, is Tobias Harris excited about it?
Tobias is about this team and about getting this team to where it needs
That's where
to
I get
go.
out the shovel and I start doing this motion. Sure he is. Okay, we get back. Union coach Jim Curtin is going to join us at 11:30, not only to talk about Union, which has won 2 in a row in the MLS, and they're starting to play really, really good soccer, but Jim is a sportsman of Philadelphia. So I always like to get his thoughts as a fan and as a head coach in a professional sport on what he sees in different areas of sports. So we'll do all that, a whole lot more. 97.5 Middays, Bob Cooney.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers find a way. I'm Ray Dunn. This update.
Welcome back on this good-looking Friday. That's right, the sun is out, the earth is shaking, but it's a great Friday. Hope everybody's safe. About an hour ago, we had a little earthquake, so hope everybody's all right around the area. It was based in northern New Jersey. We felt it here. I'm getting a lot of texts and stuff like that of people that felt it. So hopefully everybody is safe. 11 o'clock hour. It's brought to you by Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. We are going to talk now on the Comcast Business Hotline to Philadelphia Union head coach Jim Curtin. Jim, how you doing today, buddy?
How you doing, Bob? Thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Let's start off talking about your team. Well, first of all, did you feel the earthquake where you are, Jim?
Well, I just was informed there was one, and we were. I'll just say I did not notice.
All right.
I guess a good thing.
Well, that is a good thing. All right, good. And you guys are heading out today, I would guess?
Yeah, we're flying out to Nashville today.
Okay. So your team, you took the Pachuca game down in Mexico. Obviously, you lose 6-0, a kind of a drubbing. Yeah, I'm watching the game, and you get down early, and it's kind of just had that feel that we felt in all sports, like, this isn't happening today. But since then, you've played 3 games, you haven't lost one of them, you have a tie, and then 2 straight wins. Did you get something good out of that, big loss to Pachuca, Jim?
Yeah, I think sometimes early in the year you can get humbled, and we certainly did down there in Mexico at altitude. And like you said, started bad and had a penalty kick against us early, and the game plan kind of went out the window. And then it was just everything that could have went wrong. And like I said, it humbled us. I think we had a good series of meetings after that, and the guys have responded really well. 3 unbeaten teams left in the league, and we want to see how far we can push that.
Jim, how do you handle that? You're on the sideline. I've watched you be a coach for a long time, and we've become friends over the years, and I love that. Yeah. But I love your style on the sideline. You're like the coach I played for in high school and coaches that I admire, where you can't tell if you're up 6-0 or down 6-0. How do you handle that in game when a game like that is going on?
Yeah, I think it's important. You can never get too high or too low as a coach. Listen, I certainly can have some things to say at halftime, but I like to do it when it's behind closed doors and not show too much emotion on the sideline. So it is in me, don't get me wrong, and there were some heated discussions after that one. But they're healthy discussions. I think that's how you get better. When you get beat in this sport, I think you have to learn from those moments. And our guys, like you said, since then have had a real response. So, again, it's a long, long season. A season's really nothing more than a bunch of obstacles and on the road to success. And I think that our group, while you never want to lose like that, you also can take some positives out of it and have a good response from it.
And you have you've had some injuries going on with this team this year.
Yeah.
Andre Blake, how are you guys as far as injuries going on right now?
Yeah, we're getting healthier. We lost a couple guys early to some longer-term injuries. They won't be back for quite some time, but the core of the group is still here. Everybody is healthy and ready to go now and get on the flight to Nashville, where it's always a tough place to go and play.
So you have Nashville tonight, then on the 14th, Atlanta, before you're back home again to play Salt Lake City later on in the month.
Yeah.
It's 2 games on the road. You're comfortable? You feel good about it? You feel good about where your team is right now?
Yeah, like in any sport, your mentality on the road has to be a little bit different. You're gonna suffer a little bit more. It's just harder to go into other people's buildings. But I tell our guys all the time, there's no better feeling than making 30,000 people go silent, and that'll be our goal against Nashville. We've had a tough start to the season in terms of scheduling. We'll play 5 out of our first 7 on the road. And for those that don't know, when we get home at Subaru Park, in our last 65 games, we've only been beaten 3 times there. So it's a real home field advantage for us. So we can navigate this tough stretch where we go at Nashville, at Atlanta, like you mentioned, get some points there, get some wins on the road. Again, we'll now set ourselves up for that middle to back end of the schedule where we'll be very home loaded, which is good.
That's amazing. 3 losses in 65 matches.
Yeah.
Probably too many ties that you care about, I guess, but that is amazing.
Yeah, it's been a good run.
Yeah, you're not kidding. All right, Jim, I know you're a Philadelphia sports guy through and through, and when you and I talk, we do like to talk about other sports. So I'm going to hit you up as a Philly fan and as a coach at the same time. We're talking today about what Sixers starting lineup should they go forward with. And the debate is, do you bring Tobias Harris off of the bench for the rest of this year and, going into the playoffs? My question to you is, as a coach, how hard is that to do? Like, say if, I don't know, 5 years ago, you go to Alejandro Bedoya and you say, hey, dude, sorry, but we got to bring you off the bench even though you've been, such a solid starter for us. Is it easy to do as a coach? And B, how do most players, do you think, in that position would handle it?
Yeah, look, first, I don't envy Nick Nurse's job right now because at the deadline, they obviously made a lot of trades. There's a lot of decent pieces, but it takes time for pieces to come together. And right now, I listened to his post-game press conference. I think he's very smart and calculated with what he says. Talking after the game last night, as great as that win was, he still didn't like how they played, and he said he's got to do a better job of finding the right mix and balance, which may lead to something, like you said, outside the box where you bring Tobias off the bench. The NBA is unique in that, when guys are on big contracts, coming off the bench is something maybe they won't accept or it just is, it creates problems. It's not an easy discussion. I always say, whether it's in basketball, it's 1 through 5, and in soccer, it's players 1 through 11. They always love you. They're always happy. They're ready to go. The challenge of any coach, though, is keeping, in basketball's case, 6 through 12, and in soccer's case, players 12 through 28, keeping them going because you're going to need them. You're going to have to rely on them. Some guys are called upon to play a couple minutes a game and help the team. Some are called to be starters. And, those discussions are hard ones. So, I don't know what direction they're going to go in, but I'm sure the coach will choose whatever's best for the team. Decisions are tough. And at the end of the day, you hope you have in a locker room that understands the coach makes a decision based on what he thinks is best for the team, and if Tobias does go to the bench and comes off as a sixth man, hopefully his mentality is I'm going to come in and try and get as many buckets as I can and score and help the team that way. And maybe somebody else plays a little better defense than him, whatever it might be, to help the group. But it's not easy, and it makes it even harder, Bob, that his superstar is now just to work with these guys and get it clicking. There's not like a slow build here. This is a sprint to the finish to avoid that, playing game, and then right away, getting into a tough series. And, playoff basketball is completely different, just like playoff soccer.
Yeah. We're talking to Jim Curtin on the Comcast Business Hotline. Jim, how do you handle something like that as a coach? I talked to you earlier about how you act as a coach on the sidelines. I know you didn't get that from Coach Larry when you were playing at Villanova. Where do you why do you have this demeanor that you do? Who did you kind of learn it from, or is that the type of person that people don't know that you are generally?
Look, I think there's a lot of different ways to do it. And Coach Sullivan, when I was at Villanova, ex-Marine, had more of a military style of leadership, and he was great with that. And that's a way that it can work. And I played for coaches professionally where that was their style, and it worked really well. I've considered myself maybe more of a relationships coach where, all my players have my cell phone. They can text me if something's going on in their life that's difficult, or they need a question or something like that. So again, every coach is going to do it a different way. I tend to think today's players are a little different. They need constant feedback and love and where do I stand and that kind of thing. Whereas the old school way, I'll just say that wasn't the case. You wouldn't dare knock on the coach's door and ask to have a conversation. You just were almost fear. So the game and the sport has evolved. I think you have to adjust and evolve with it. I'm not saying my way is the right way, but there's a lot of different ways to do it. And just the way that I've kind of taken that approach with my guys. And at the end of the day, you need them to play hard for you for 90 minutes, and my guys have done that through the years.
And more so than any professional coach, you're dealing with young kids in some cases.
Yeah.
Like
so
young
our
kids.
Locker room, really young. So, for those that don't know in the news, we're in the process of signing a kid as young as 14 years old, and he's a unique talent.
Another Sullivan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. Quinn Sullivan's brother, Kevin. And, look, he's a top prospect. But listen, a 14-year-old or a 16-year-old and 17-year-olds that we have in our locker room, have different life interests than a 35-year-old that has 3 kids. And, and sees sometimes these young guys as guys coming along to take their livelihood away. So you're trying to keep that culture and keep everybody, pulling in the same direction for a common goal, which ultimately is to win a championship. And my guys have a good understanding. When our team has success, all those individual accolades tend to come. I preach that to them. So whether you're young, whether you're old, look, in pro sports, I don't believe in too young or too old. I only believe in good and bad. And we have good ones here, so we're going to keep kind of pushing it that way.
Great way of looking at it. Jim, we thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck in Nashville tomorrow, and we will be in touch with you throughout the season if you don't mind joining the show every once in a while.
Thanks so much, Bob. The show sounds great, too. I've been listening a lot. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, Jim. Take care. Jim Curtin from your Philadelphia Union. That's it. That's interesting, man. Like, you're a coach of a professional team, and Mike and Voorhees, if you want to call back, I apologize that you called right as we went to the interview. So if you want to call back, I'd love to hear from you. You got 14. He puts it great. You can have 14 to 16-year-olds in that locker room that are playing a professional sport with 35-year-olds that might be coming from home just having, to put their kid in daycare before they came over. That's wild. So and it's funny, the kid that he's talking about, Sullivan, the 14-year-old, his grandfather, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is Larry Sullivan, who Jim referenced, was his coach at Villanova and was my son Kyle's coach in high school. So, once again, the 6 degrees of everything of sports in Philadelphia, it all comes around. Everybody knows everybody. Okay, when we get back, we're going to dip in a little bit more on your Philadelphia Phillies because I can't believe I'm saying it, but I am because I feel it, and you can't help how you feel. I need something from them, and I'll tell you what it is. That, Bill Colarulo is going to join us at noon. We're going to talk some Eagles draft stuff. Whole bunch more coming up. Middays, Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Phillies Sports Tonight. Discussion on the big stories we've been talking about all day. Coming up tonight at 6 on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
More time outside means more projects on the honey-do list, but fret not. Say goodbye to DIY headaches and hello to Preferred Pros. Whether it's indoors or out, let our reliable experts handle your home improvements while you focus on fun. Spruce up your home today with Preferred Pros, your go-to for quality and reliable workmanship.
Purchasing a new cooling and heating system has never been easier. Horizon Services Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing will develop a custom solution installed the next day with no hassle financing.
Those drafty windows are costing you more to heat your home. Protect and increase the value of your home with Window Nation windows. 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
Great Railing in Williamstown is now the largest Trex dealer in the United States and has Trex on sale from $1.89 per foot. GreatRailing.com.
Check out Preferred Pros today. This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers.
Cooney. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Welcome back on this beautiful Friday. Hope you're having a great, great day. All pumped, excited, ready for the weekend. Still, I need you for a minute, please. Sylvana's going to come in and join us for a second because we had a little discussion during the break here, and I'm just being honest. So the other day, Sil, Ray and I went down to the Paganos downstairs. Ray likes, he gets something every morning. I was hungry that morning, so I just, decided to go down. So I got myself a sandwich. He ordered a cup of coffee and a bagel. Okay, so he gets that. I go to the counter. I pay for my sandwich, and I think I got a Gatorade, and I pay for that. And Ray's standing there and gets his cup of coffee handed to him. And then the lady comes out, and she goes over to, like, a side place. Or maybe she walked up to Ray and handed him his bagel and just walked away. I kind of look around. What's this? He goes, yeah, I don't know. She doesn't, charge me sometimes. Free cup of coffee, free bagel, whatever. I said, oh, that's nice. What's her name? I don't know. I said, what? I don't know. And so during the discussion we just had now, I said, how do you not know her name? He goes, I know that her dog tore his ACL and this, that, and the other, all that.
Can we stop putting her business out there, man?
No.
These are personal conversations that we have.
The point is that Ray has a relationship. He knows somebody. He doesn't know her name still.
Well, you know what's going to have to happen is that I'm going to have to go down there. Someone's going to have to go down there.
And ask her name for him?
Yeah, like this is a private conversation. You named the place. You gave specific details about the person.
Nobody listens, Ray. I keep telling you. Don't worry. Your secret is safe.
It does not sound like that.
What should he do? The other day, I bought him a cup of coffee. Well,
I think I should mention it to the host of the program and see if he brings it up.
And what did he say? He said, thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. So this lady has been giving you free cups of coffee and the likes, and you don't even say thank you.
I always say thank you.
You have a
no
pet name.
No, it's always a thank you very much.
Thanks,
I hope you have a great day. That's how I say it. That's literally most of my interactions end with the thank you or have a great day.
This is pretty intimate, and he doesn't even know her name.
I got to say, Sil, how should he handle this?
I don't even know, honestly. I think he can't
Well, I mean, now at this point, this whole arrangement is off. You guys have ruined this for me.
Nobody knows. Nobody cares.
Oh, yeah. No, the next time that you go down there, she's going to slide the coffee over, and she's going to take it back and just throw it at your face, and you're just going to be, it's going to be burns on your face, and you're going to have to explain to everyone on the YouTube chat what happened to your face.
Oh, you think if I get coffee thrown in my face, I'm showing up to Sylvana, get ready to learn how to sit in this seat because I'll be taking the day off. I have coffee in my face.
Yeah, so I think I think your next move, I'm almost embarrassed for you. Because I think his next move has to be, because
you have to bring someone down there.
No, he has to go up to her and say, I'm sorry, you know what? I never caught your name. Simple.
No, he can't do that.
Can't do it?
No.
It's past too far in the relationship now. I mean, it's up to coffee and bagel now for free. It's not just a coffee.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty intimate. This is a close relationship.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in my man.
And I think he got awful red when we were talking about it.
Hell, he did.
Because we're putting this out on the air. This is someone else's livelihood we're talking about.
Nobody is listening.
That you keep saying that, Bob. The head coach of the Philadelphia Union tell you you're doing a great show. You're telling me nobody's listening.
Jim Curtin cares about
Jim Curtin knows my business now.
All right. Well, hit the dump button.
No, it's too late. It's too late. If
Can you do a 2 or 3 minute dump?
No, I can't do that, Bob. If you ruin,
now you're gonna put yourself on out of context.
That's gonna be
pretty good
tonight. Yeah.
If you ruined my free coffee, Bob.
No, I didn't. I will go with you down there Monday morning, and I guarantee everything will be the same. You'll be okay. It's just something I had to put out there in the universe because I worry. You know how much I worry about you.
Yeah, I know.
And I also thought that this was odd.
This is his only source
It
of
feels
needs.
like I feel like I'm not raising a good son.
You tell me that I don't eat. I finally get in some sort of situation where I get some food of substance, and now you're trying to take that away from me.
That's not true.
That's
I'm not
exactly
trying to
what
take
you're trying.
anything
That's
away
exactly
from
what you're trying to do
I'm
right
trying to boost your social life,
Bob. We have great conversation. I don't need for us to be name. We are talking about life. We're talking about life. We have good life conversations, Bob.
All right. I still don't like it. Yeah, still thank you.
Yeah.
We tried to talk some sense into him, but it's just not happening.
I don't understand what the sense is here.
It's okay. It's all right.
I bet she doesn't even know my name.
I think she does.
I don't think she does.
But, you know, if I do something for somebody, I love to hear, thanks, Bob.
I said, thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Is that a terrible thing to say to someone?
No, it's not terrible. It could be better.
What are we doing here?
I have no idea.
Someone give me some breaking sports news.
Maybe that's what Tobias Harris is going to say when Nick Nurse takes him out of the starting lineup. What are we doing here? I don't know. But, Ray, I swear, last night I got this overwhelming feeling with the Philadelphia Phillies. And so I started looking at the standings last night. It was after I saw the Mets announcers say we've hit rock bottom, which was hysterical. If we get that, maybe we'll play it for you later. It was really, really funny that the guy said that. But I had this overwhelming feeling that I need a really good weekend out of my Phillies. I need a sweep. I need 2 out of 3. I need Aaron Nola to pitch really well tonight. I want them to be dominant. Besides the Phillies, the rest of the division, I'm not saying, oh, after 10 games, you got to take advantage of that. No, but I'm in the mood for, I'll put it this way. I'm in the mood for a really good Phillies weekend. I want to see some bombs. I want to see Aaron Nola pitch a really good game. I'd like Ranger Suarez to come out of tomorrow's game and us be like, man, that talk about him maybe being a Cy Young candidate, that's real. This guy is really good. I want to see bats swinging. I want to see Nick Castellanos. I want to see the hands out in front instead of the hip all the way out in the left field before he even starts swinging the bat. I want to see good things this weekend. I'm anticipating it, and I want it, and I need it. You can't help how you feel, Ray. And I feel like I need this from the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, you need them to play good against poor teams, and this Nationals team is a disaster. And frankly, we had the caller earlier talking about, man, this is, the earthquake wakes them up out of this or whatever, having the fun, fan moment here. Patrick Corbin should wake up this lineup.
Oh, my God. He's horrible.
If you can't hit off of Patrick Corbin, basically, spring training, they were like, well, now you're seeing a certain percentage of balls thrown by the pitching machine. This is the pitching machine today, okay? Yeah. You have to be able to hit him, okay? You have to be able to hit Corbin at this point. The guy has been bad for years. And Aaron Nola, you have to look a little bit more like yourself today. I'm not asking you for dominance, but I'm also not asking you to go out there and look anything like what I was subjected to on Saturday. And this is from a Nola guy. It was a disaster to watch him pitch on Saturday. You need to start to look a little bit more of the form of yourself because you have to, and again, it's about taking advantage of the bad teams. Last year against the Nationals, you were 7-6. Okay? You can't have that again this season.
No.
You got to be closer to the 10-3, the 9-3, the 9-4, whatever ends up being the number of games against them. You got to put a little bit better forth and effort against a poor team like this, especially coming off an off day. That's the thing. You have every arm at your disposal today. Go out there with your 1B pitcher on the mound and go get yourself a W.
I didn't recognize him a little bit the other day. Not a little bit. I didn't recognize him on Saturday. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I've never seen a team so settled in, like just digging in and being, yeah, go ahead, try to bring it, because he was horrible last Saturday. So, yes, need a really good outing out of him. I don't know why, and I know what time of year it is, and I know this means nothing much right now. But like I said, you can't help how you feel. I feel like I need a really good weekend out of the Phillies. Here's one part of it that I think you may disagree. I need a stable lineup. I don't want to see lefty in there because of righty pitcher, righty in there because of lefty pitcher, Stott's getting a day off, this guy. I just want a weekend of 1 through 8 is the same for 3 days. Too much of an ask?
Way too much of an ask.
Yeah.
Way too much of an ask.
Is it a stupid ask?
Yeah.
Stupid ask, I said.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You can say that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but the ask, no, you're not getting that.
All right.
You like Whit Merrifield, right?
Yeah. Well, I said 1 through 8. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, Rojas honestly feels like the most certain of the 9. And then, are you going to get a JT day off on Sunday?
Well, that probably. I don't know. He just had a day off the other day. He just had a day off the other night.
All right, man. They're playing 26 games in 27 days in April.
Yeah, Stubbs got hit.
Yeah, I know. I
remember. Yeah. Inning, but I don't know why, but I just feel like I really need a good Phillies weekend. All right, coming up, Bill Colarulo's going to join us for the rest of the show coming up at noon. So we're going to dive into some Eagles talk. I'm going to throw out some names to Bill, to you guys also. Positions, players, size. I'll give you everything. You let me know on a 1 to 5 scale. What are the chances the Eagles are going to take them? This is Middays. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
A big win in Miami. I'm Ray Dunn.
97.5, The Fanatic. We welcome you back. So glad to have you with us as we welcome in studio Bill Colarulo, and we have many subjects to bring up with you, Bill. How are you today?
I'm doing well, man. There is a lot to talk about in this city, but it's all good. It's exciting. We got a playoff push by two of our teams, which is great.
We got Coffeegate with Ray, which, full disclosure here, we were totally having fun. Nobody's job is at risk. We were, maybe, Bill, just maybe kind of overblowing a situation a little bit. And the more of the fact is that Ray didn't introduce himself and find out somebody's name who he converses with every day. And
okay, time out. As you begin to assassinate my character a little bit more here today, when you first go, and maybe this is different because you're Bob Cooney and, you want to get into a 25-minute conversation, but if we're talking about...
Oh, okay, here we go.
No.
I'm here to referee right now.
It seems like it. Ding, ding, ding.
When you first go to get that cup of coffee for the first time from a new place, is your main objective there to make friends with everyone in there?
No.
No. You say, hello, how are you?
Okay.
You get the cup of coffee. It's nice. We had a nice conversation the first time I got a cup of coffee. Then I started to work this shift. And then from that time, I started to go down there consistently. And from that first interaction, there was never a name mentioned, but we started to, oh, you're the guy that comes in every day around 9:30-ish. I'm the person.
I'm Ray.
Well, that's me. Yeah. But it's okay because we had already established that type of relationship where we saw each other every day. So I'm just getting my coffee. She's obviously working. And so we just kind of picked up and have a conversation. There was no formal introduction. It's not like, hello, hi, I'm Ray Dunn, and I'm going to be a customer here for the rest of my life. No, it was just, started as getting a cup of coffee,
Hey,
two
by
people
the way,
talking.
I never caught your name. What's your name? I'm sorry, I'm Ray.
Yeah, I could do that. Or, we could just
proper
continue.
thing to Bill. I think it's the proper thing to do. You, a man of properness.
He's young, though, Bob. We'll let it slide.
He is a kid. I'll give him that.
I still have a bone to pick with Ray since we're battling here.
Wow.
He went on the best show ever and accused me of collusion
I didn't
in
need
the
to
knockout
accuse you
tournament.
of that. I mean, we all watched it happen in real time.
There was questions raised there, Bill, that I have to say. I was out at before you in knockout. So I was standing there, and I had the collusion people all around me. Oh, isn't it, what was it? Isn't it a coincidence that whenever Bill misses, his fiancée misses, Bridget, I believe, right?
That is her name, correct.
And every time that Bill makes, Bridget makes. Bridget looked like she could have banged 100 jumpers in a row if she so chose. Maybe she did not so choose. Maybe there was collusion. In the end, it doesn't matter because Connor didn't win, and that's all that counts.
Yeah, that's
true. That is a good point.
Yeah, so that's
Bill
all we
collusion.
care about. Right.
Full collusion.
Yeah. So,
It's easier to pronounce, I guess.
Yeah, if you need
collusion,
if you need to run out and go downstairs and introduce yourself to somebody, feel free. We'll get Syl to sit in for you.
She doesn't work today because we have that type of relationship. We know each
so
other's
you know
work
her hours
schedules.
and all, but you don't know her name. Okay, that's really cool.
Bob, the way you package this, you are a man of journalism. Okay, you got to tell the full story here.
No, I'm in radio now.
You're packaging this as a headline.
That's all it is. It's just dibs and dabs of things.
You fell to the clickbait media.
No, that's not true. All right, Bill, we were talking about earlier today, last night, 76ers, a really good win down in Miami. Because of necessity, Tobias Harris doesn't start last night. They throw Nick Batum in a starting lineup that includes Batum, Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Kyle Lowry, and Kelly Oubre. Pretty good starting five. Three of those guys, Oubre, Embiid, and Maxey, combined for 84 of the 105 points. Is Nick Nurse onto something here?
I liked it. I heard you talking about it on the way in. I really liked it. My only question is should Buddy Hield be in the starting lineup or not? Because I did want to see him play with Joel Embiid. I wanted to see that spacing, and if Hield can hit his threes, they could be dangerous. But I did love Batum, Lowry together on the court with our big three because we got a big three now, Bob. That's the difference this season than other seasons is we knew Maxey was going to be good. You knew Embiid's going to be Embiid.
Yeah.
But Kelly Oubre, man.
Yeah, he can score some points. He's kind of unconscious at the offensive end. The Buddy Hield thing is interesting. And if you look deeper into it, because my mind is always going weird ways, Kyle Lowry didn't handle the ball a lot last night. It was Tyrese Maxey bringing the ball up. Was that a case of Nick Nurse saying, all right, let's see if I keep Kyle off the ball and I put Kelly Oubre in there with Maxey handling the ball and Embiid starting? Is that something that might be going through his mind? Kyle Lowry coming off the bench. Because I don't know, can you trust Kyle Lowry to go 34 minutes in a playoff series or two or three? Maybe you can because you're not going to have back-to-back games at all. But I wonder what this starting lineup may look like come playoff time. I mean, do you think there's going to be a change from what it was last night?
It's interesting. I don't know.
I know, right?
I really don't know. But, we say with the Eagles, in Howie, we trust. In Nick, we trust, man. I trust him as a coach. We saw him do it in Toronto. He put that starting five together close to the playoffs, and they went on their run. So whatever he decides to do, I think will be the right answer because he's that good of a coach. I really have a lot of faith in him. But I love the idea of Oubre in the starting lineup. So I don't know if you do anything different with the other pieces, but I just love that big three on the court to start and then see what shakes with the other two spots.
Yeah, and you make a great point about Buddy Hield. He was brought here. We couldn't wait for him to be on the floor with Joel Embiid and how it's going to open it up. He gets 12 minutes last night. He goes 0 for 6 from the floor, 0 for 4 from 3. Slumping, I don't know. What's the big plan? I don't know. But if you're going to get the most out of him, you would think it's on the floor with Joel Embiid.
Yeah, and Daryl Morey told us at the trade deadline they got the best player available in Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
So you got to get more than 12 minutes out of him. But maybe Nick Nurse was on to something. After the first game Embiid was back, he kind of about Buddy Hield and how he needs to get used to playing with a guy like Joel. You got to be patient when you play with Joel, and you're going to get your shots. So maybe it's just a matter of him getting used to Joel in practice before they trust him on the court. But how about Joel Embiid, man? I mean, really, what did he play over 30 minutes last night? Another guy yesterday that was in the news, Jordan Mailata, because he got his extension.
Yeah, how about that? He got paid.
Bob, I'm so jealous of both of those men. You look at the athletic ability that they were given. Huge people. Jordan Mailata couldn't even put his helmet on when he came to the NFL. Now he's getting a big contract. Joel Embiid, started playing basketball in like 8th
16,
grade?
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. Some people were blessed with athletic ability. Others like Ray were not.
Wow.
That's fair. I mean, that is something I've been very open about here. I mean, I just didn't need my fiance shooting behind me to survive in the free throw competition, man. Jeez.
It's good. I said to Ray during one of our breaks, I said, it's Friday. We shouldn't be going back and forth like this. It should be a happy day. We've had a good run of 14 days so far. And on the 15th day, it collapsed. What? Maybe an earthquake does this to people.
If anything, we should be kumbayaing that we survived this earthquake.
I agree.
Listen,
sorry,
I was perfectly fine.
Well, of course, because you get free coffee and bagels every day.
And wouldn't that make a man perfectly fine and happy?
Yeah, and he doesn't get it every day, and the lady's not cheating anything. Everything's good. We're kind of blowing this out of proportion a little bit. But, yeah, I just think you should know her name. Someone you interact with every day, right? I think you should say,
Absolutely. You know what I'll do one day? I will make good on all of this for all of you. And I'll make sure that this all works itself out.
I'm going to be with you. I can't wait.
Whoa. You just invite yourself down here? This is going to be a very serious, intimate moment. You're just going to, oh, yeah.
Oh, now it's a serious, intimate moment.
That's the characterization that Silvana had of it.
This is getting bigger than we ever thought.
I think we got to move on from this conversation.
Yeah, I don't think we want to have this one here. All right, one of the things we've kind of failed to talk about so far, Bill, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Flyers have a huge game tonight. They're in Buffalo, first time they've played since Friday. They're just barely holding on to a playoff position. You have some guys that John Tortorella came out the other night and said, I was embarrassed to watch it. He said, and then I watched the film, and I'm even more embarrassed now. He didn't call out names, but he said some guys don't know how to play in this type of situation. Then he had a little caveat added to that, and he said, that's why I'm glad they're on the ice. So they can look, they can learn all from that. I didn't realize it until I read a story the next day that Travis Konechny didn't play the first 7 minutes of that third period. How do you, being around coaches and different things like that, sports follower that you are, how do you think players or how do you think Tortorella's messaging throughout this year has gone with this team?
It's interesting because obviously they have exceeded everybody's expectations this year. So it's hard to be critical of John Tortorella because clearly he's been hitting the right buttons to get this team to perform way better than we all thought they could ever perform. So I'm hesitant to be critical of him, but people respond differently. You know that. Some players love to be coached hard. Other players you got to coddle. But I'm just going to trust Tortorella that he knows this room and he knows these players and says, hey, this is the way that I'm going to get the best out of them. Why should we question him now? We got 5 games left, 6 games left, whatever it is. So I'm hoping that you're going to see Konechny respond tonight. Did you see the big news? Who's in net tonight? Ivan Fedotov's getting the start tonight.
I didn't know. I hadn't seen they announce it. It was one of the things we brought up earlier. Is Sam Ersson, is he kind of just – have you gotten everything out of him that you can? Because he is a rookie. He wasn't anticipated at all to have to play this much.
He's been a blessing, Bob. He really has.
He's been great. Pat Egan, who's a very knowledgeable hockey guy, said to me, he goes, look, don't get too carried away with him. He said this weeks ago, months ago maybe. Don't get too carried away with it because it's a Tortorella-style play. Makes a goalie look better because you have a lot of guys blocking shots. It's constant forechecking and back-checking, all of that stuff. But Fedotov in net tonight, does it surprise me? No, because it's Tortorella.
Well, you knew he was going to play one of these games.
He had to.
Yeah, he was going to play
back-to-back. They play again tomorrow, Columbus Blue Jackets.
So I think coming off of his performance, especially in that second period the other night.
Right.
I like that he's rolling with him again because clearly the guy showed he could play. I mean, coming in at that moment. Now, I said I don't want to question or be critical of Tortorella. I just didn't like you put him in the second period. If he was ready to play, why not start him the other night?
That was funny because they started Ersson, and I was like, okay, I understand that. And then they bring him in the second period, and I said, yeah, typical. I wasn't shocked that he did it. I kind of wish he would have started him, but now I, as just a casual fan, I start to wonder, where is Ersson? Like, have they lost him physically, mentally? Where is he? Is it a case of, hey, you've been great all year, we just need to give you a few more breathers? And like you said, Bill, tonight's the first of a back-to-back. One of them had to sit one of these games, so he goes with Fedotov tonight. Interesting.
It's exciting. I can't wait to watch it.
I can't either. So what are your feelings with this Flyers team going forward? They've lost 5 in a row. They have 4 on the road coming up starting tonight. They're barely holding on to that playoff spot. Where's your confidence level with this team?
It's a tough question because we knew they were going through a tough stretch a few games ago. And then they started 6 games against teams who weren't in playoff contention. So it was, okay, now they're going to bounce back, and they haven't.
No.
Maybe this rest was good for them. They've had a few days off. I don't know what my confidence level is in them, and it would just be such a shame if they miss the playoffs. I mean, after having the year that they've had, I can't believe we're sitting here in April 5th, talking about Flyers games that matter, but we are. And like Tortorella said, I'm sick of hearing, hey, they're young, they shouldn't have been here. We're here. So I would love to see them make the playoffs for that very reason about having these guys on the ice. If they do, in fact, have these dreams of within the next 2 to 3 years competing for a cup, you can't replicate playoff experience.
No, especially in hockey.
So I don't have any crazy visions that this team is going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
No.
But if they could just get into the playoffs, one, selfishly, I want to be in the building for playoff hockey again. But two, I just think the experience that it could provide these guys. But I don't know what my level of confidence is, Bob. I don't think anybody really knows because the way the last 10 games have gone? I know they've lost 5 in a row, but they haven't been good for about 10 games.
No.
So
tonight is a night to me that when they come out on the ice in Buffalo, I want to look and go, oh, okay, they got some jump tonight. Like, it needs to be there to me right off the bat. I can't see up and down hockey of, all right, let's see who's going to get a goal here and there. Like, I need the Flyers to be the aggressor tonight because they have had the time off, as you said, because they are slumping, because they do have 4 in a row on the road. Like, it has to start tonight. Maybe it already has started a little bit with the fact that he named Fedotov as the starting goalie tonight. That's kind of a kick in the butt there. All right, Bill, before we get to our Eagles stuff next segment, I got to ask you about the Phillies. So I don't know why. And you know this about sports also. Sometimes you just have a feeling about something. You might wake up in the morning on a Sunday morning and say, oh, man, I got a bad feeling about the Eagles today, or I feel great about the Eagles. Feelings overcome you in sports. At least they do me. And one did last night. As I'm getting ready for the show and doing some different things, I need a good weekend out of the Phillies. Like, a good weekend. I don't need this win 1, lose 1, barely won 1, took 2 out of 3, but it didn't look good. Nah, I need a good weekend out of them. You ever get that feeling with sports or with teams that there's a time that you just have a feeling about something, you want to see it happen?
Absolutely, and I don't disagree with you. It'd be nice to get the mojo right with this Phillies team because all we heard coming out of spring training was they're going to come out to a quicker start. They want to try to win the NL East, and it hasn't been that great of a start. I know it's only been, 6 games?
Yeah,
but
2 and 4.
you'd like to see them right the ship, especially against a bad Nationals team. So I agree with you. I heard you say earlier you need a sweep. That would be great, but they have to at least win the series. They haven't won a series yet, so let's win the series.
Yeah, win the series is good. I'd love to see a really good outing out of Aaron Nola tonight. Another thing that I said I would kind of like to see is a little bit of stability in that lineup. You know, the Braves come in here opening weekend, except for a catcher getting hurt, nothing really changes. It's, yeah, we're a hitting team, and, yeah, this guy's hitting first, this guy's hitting fourth. This is what we do. We come in here, you try to stop us, and they're out there all the time. I am starting to get annoyed a little bit, and I can't believe I'm doing it already after 6 games.
Constant changes,
Yeah, like I don't need Stott sitting. I want Stott to play 150 games. I don't need him sitting the first week of the season. I don't want to know what my outfield is every night. Oh, who's in left? Who's in center? Oh, Marsh is over in center, and you have Whit Merrifield in left. Or nothing against Whit Merrifield, but Ray made it put it best. You need to get him some at bats, so maybe that's what we're going to see from Rob Thompson is 3 out of the what?
Whoa! You want him to get at bat. We want people that like the Whit Merrifield signing.
You just said, what about Whit Merrifield?
Well,
I said it was a good point.
For people that want Whit Merrifield, I'm cool if Whit Merrifield doesn't get his at-bats. I'm cool with that. I'm cool if they start rolling with a more consistent, hey, Bohm, you're out there, Marsh, you're out there, Stott, you're out there. I'm cool with it. The people that like the Merrifield signing and wanted to see him, get his plate appearances, get him out there, get him on the field, that's fine. But I think that's why they're doing it. I'm cool if they don't have Whit Merrifield out there.
Very combative today.
I just want you to be clear on that one.
You got them all worked up today.
You did get me all worked up today. Also, this coffee got me all worked up. But
the free coffee?
No, not the free coffee today. Well, technically, it was down from MMR. Thank you. But when you look at this lineup, we were talking about putting Merrifield in it. People want to see, and they all want to see how Merrifield fits, if they're going to platoon and all those things. I'm cool if Merrifield sits on the bench. I'm cool with that. So that was only a point to bring up of why they're doing it. Not that I want them to do it. Just want to clarify that one.
So I made the mistake the other night before the game that Bryce Harper went off. I tweeted out, should we be concerned about Bryce Harper? And then I went through his spring training stats. I went through his first 11 at-bats.
We'll do that again today before the show ends then.
And then I'm sitting in here in studio getting ready to do the Sixers post-game show. And Tom Alford's in the other studio coming in. He hit a home run. And people are tweeting at me. He hit another one. People are tweeting at me again. Then he hits the grand slam, and now I'm getting called clown and everything else. I just said, should we question him? But I will never ask that question again, Bob. Not to Bryce Harper.
Well, no, you should. If he's going to hit 3 home runs after you question him, I would question him about 155 more times this year, something like that. All right, we're going to play a big game with Bill when we get back, and we want you to join in also, 610-632-0975. I'm going to give him a player. We're going to give you an example right now. I'm going to give Bill a player, and he's going to give me a scale, 1 to 5, the likelihood that the Eagles would draft this guy. 1 being no, 5 being absolutely, if he's there, they should take him. So, first player I am going to give Bill, cornerback, Alabama, Kool-Aid McKinstry, 5'11 and a half, 199 pounds. He is projected as a 6.93 out of 10, which means he will eventually be a plus starter. Bill, what say you?
On a scale of 1 to 5.
1 to 5, 5 being, yes, if he's there, take him.
I'm going to go with a 3, only because we know they haven't drafted a cornerback in the first round since 2002. We're going on 22 years when they took Lito Shepherd. And there's other corners I actually like better than McKinstry in this draft that if they're available.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure they go corner there, but there's a lot of players. But Kool-Aid would be good. He's not the most athletic, but he's got a real high IQ, smart, intelligent player. And we do know they love those Alabama and Georgia Bulldogs. So.
They are. They're on that Alabama and Georgia train. So that's how the game's going to go throughout the day. I'm going to give Bill a bunch of different guys that are around that 22 area in several mock drafts. We'll do it throughout the rest of the show. If you want one, give us a call, 610-632-0975, or you can text us at that same number. Any thoughts that you may have. It might be about Ray. It might be about, Sixers, Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, whatever you want. This is Middays. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports update.
A big win in Miami. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Explore the tropics at Whole Foods Market with savings on fresh flavors and juicy finds through April 16th. Shop today. The 76ers beat the Heat 109-105 as they closed the game on a 15-3 run last night. Kelly Oubre big down the stretch, finished with 18 points, 7 of those coming in the last 4 minutes of the game. Tyrese Maxey finished with 37 and Embiid at 29 in his second game back from injury. The win puts the 76ers a half game back of the Heat in the game behind the Pacers in that race for the 6th seed to stay out of the play-in tournament. This weekend for the Sixers features back with the Grizzlies and Spurs, both on the road. Flyers return to the ice tonight in Buffalo. The matchup with the Sabres offers a chance to break a 5-game losing streak. Still in third in the Metropolitan, but tied with the Islanders, and the Capitals and Penguins are lurking just behind those two. So the puck drop is at 7. You can hear the live call of it right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Phillies in action tonight against the Nationals. Aaron Nola versus Patrick Corbin. Both teams coming to the game 2-4 on the year. And in Eagles news, left tackle Jordan Mailata signed a 3-year, $66 million extension with the Birds. Avonte Maddox also signing a 1-year deal to return after being released earlier this offseason. Union head coach Jim Curtin joined the show earlier to talk about the Union and all things going on in Philadelphia sports. Catch that conversation one more time at 975thefanatic.com. I'm Ray Dunn. Breaking sports news all day, every day is here. 97.5 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Up top, Buddy. A 3 by Hield is good. He made it over Leonard. Buddy Hield. Triple. Oh, yeah.
The Philadelphia Flyers.
Forster shoots one. He scores! Oh, what a shot as Forster wires one into the top corner.
The games are here.
What a save. Powers by a pitch. Slams him.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Ricky Bowe here, and buying MLB tickets just got simple. Game Time, an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, makes getting tickets fast and easy. Have you ever wanted to get to the game, but the ticket prices were just insane, or you can't find tickets anywhere? Guys, the app is amazing. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and views from your seat, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets or tickets to any kind of event. Plus, the Game Time lowest price guarantee. Yeah, you heard me. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. It's a no-brainer. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code FASTBALL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use code FASTBALL for $20 off. Go to gametime.co, no M, or download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Hey, it's John Kincade. It's my time of the year because baseball has returned to South Philadelphia, plus college basketball tournament. And I know if you're like me, you like betting on golf too. Download the BetParks app today. The BetParks app is the absolute
All right. Mike and Voorhees was on earlier, but he had to get off, but now he's back. Mike, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's going on, buddy?
How you doing, guys?
Doing good. How about you?
Good, good. I am not trying to minimize this earthquake, but I want all of you and the listeners to Google the Northridge earthquake. It was a 6.7, the largest ground swelling ever recorded in North America, and I was on the 11th floor of a 17-story building when it hit at 4:30 in the morning.
Where was that?
It was centered in Northridge, California. It's like the suburbs of L.A. I was in Santa Monica. This building, I cannot even impress upon you how loud the shaking and rumbling was. It lasted about 45 seconds. Transformers exploding, going from pitch black to broad daylight about 10 seconds apart. Then the building rolls. I get thrown off of my feet about 4 feet back and landed on my back. That was an earthquake.
Yeah.
Google it. It's called the Northridge earthquake. People might think it wasn't so big because it only registered a 6.7. It was, the prevailing word was violent when you read articles about it. So I just had to get that out of the way.
All right, no big deal. That's good. Thanks, Bill or Mike. I appreciate that. What do you have going on with the Eagles?
I kind of like what they're doing. I wish we had kept Reddick. I don't know if we're going to go for Justin Simmons, but I'm thinking we definitely need a thumping athletic linebacker in this draft. And I'd like to see more depth at D tackle because last year we replaced Hargrave, Limball Joseph, and Ndamukong Suh with Jalen Carter.
Yeah, no, Jalen Carter was a good guy. Thanks, Mike. Much appreciated. He brings up some interesting names there, Bill. Any feelings on them?
Well, first off, he talks about Justin Simmons, the safety, and it'd be interesting if the Eagles actually did that because they traded Reddick because he's going to be 30.
Right.
Justin Simmons is 30.
And you're going to have to pay him.
And I'd much rather have a 30-year-old edge rusher than a 30-year-old safety. So I actually think edge rushers, look at Brandon Graham. He had one of his best seasons 2 years ago, but he's 33, 34 years old. So I didn't think the age should have been a factor with Reddick, but Justin Simmons would concern me. Now, you mentioned linebacker in the draft, and I'd love to see the Eagles go linebacker in the draft. You look at Howie Roseman, his draft history as a GM, he's only taken one linebacker in the first 2 rounds since 2010 when he was, in fact, the GM. They took Jordan Hicks in 2015 in the 3rd round, but that was Chip Kelly.
Right.
So even if they draft a linebacker, I still would love to have seen them bring in somebody in free agency or via a trade in addition to Devin White and Nakobe Dean that's on the team because any rookie linebacker is going to be a question mark, Bob. There's no guarantee they step in and can contribute this year. So once again, linebacker should be a big question mark on this team.
When you talk linebacker, do you think it's 2nd, 3rd roundish type of thing? You don't think they're going 1st round linebacker, right?
I don't think there's any chance that he would draft a linebacker in the 1st round. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's more likely if they do go linebacker, it would be with the 50th or 53rd pick in the 2nd round. And there should be some decent options there. I mean, there's a lot of good linebackers that could fall to that 2nd round. I know everybody thinks Jeremiah Trotter Jr. because he has the name. There's about 4 other linebackers I'd take at that spot over Jeremiah Trotter Jr., but everyone just hears Trotter, and they want him because it's that.
Yeah, and you have to keep that in mind. Some people are just totally, you can't take him. You're only taking him because your dad. You got to watch him. You have to read about him. He seems to be a 3rd roundish type of guy, perhaps. So, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Does it solve problems? Probably not, unless, you're looking down the road, unless you're looking for someone that might get better as the years go on. But the exercise we're playing with Bill today is that I will give him a name, someone around that 22 area in the mock drafts, and I want him to let me know on a scale of 1 to 5 if the Eagles would take him. 1 being an absolute no, 5 being yes if he's there. I could see them taking him. Here's the next name I'm going to give you. And Ray will tell you this is my favorite player in this draft when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. And his name is Jackson Powers Johnson. He is an interior lineman, junior, 6'3", 320 from Oregon. Bill, what say you?
I'm going to put this one at a 5, Bob.
Oh, I love it.
Because I really, truly believe that where the Eagles are going in the 1st round at 22, if they stay at 22, because you know how he loves to move around the draft board.
Yes, he does.
But I could see them going offensive line. And what I like about him, and you probably like about Powers Johnson as well, is his versatility. He can play center. He can play guard. Now, some may say, hey, taking an interior offensive lineman that early would be a mistake. Roseman's only done it once. It was when he drafted fireman Danny Watkins back in 2011. So, but because of his versatility, I think that could be a smart move. They need depth on the offensive line. We still don't know who the right guard's going to be. Is Tyler Steen ready? Matt Hennessy, who was out last year with an injury that they signed, could he step into that right guard spot? But we also don't know how much longer Lane Johnson's going to play. So I think adding to that offensive line, they've been relatively healthy over the last couple of seasons, but that's not a guarantee in the NFL.
No, not at all. Let me read you what one of the mock drafts says about my man Jackson Johnson. Why I fell in love with this guy, but when I looked up highlights of him, it seemed pretty cool. If I could design my ideal center, it'd be Jackson Powers Johnson. Everything from his size, shape, and demeanor aligns perfectly with what I want from that position. He's also much more athletic than his build would have you believe at first glance. He can handle himself in open space. That's the stuff that I saw that I loved. It was Kelsey-like, getting out to that second level and getting out there and mauling people.
So let me ask you then. If you drafted Jackson Powers Johnson at 22, is he your center or your right guard?
Center.
And you're keeping Juergens at right guard?
Only because this. I'm only replacing one position. And, you know, I'm saying, okay, Kelsey's gone. Here's your replacement. Even though Cam Juergens was that, I'm not going to lie and say I know the ins and outs of exactly how Cam Juergens played at right guard last year. Was there some struggles? Yeah. Was there some good things? Yeah, there was. He started, you know, all the games there. He's your starting right guard. Give him another year with Jeff Stoutland. You don't have to move him again. I'd really think about it. Or if you bring in Jackson Powers Johnson and he can play right guard. I don't know why offensive line is exciting me in this draft, but this guy is.
As much as I do like Powers Johnson, and I put it at a 5, because I do think they go offensive line, I think they may, though, get a guy that could eventually move to tackle. Because, like I said, they only drafted an interior offensive lineman one time.
Right.
It's a lot more likely to use a high draft pick on a guy who could also move out to tackle. And there's some other names in the draft. This is a deep draft for offensive linemen.
It is.
I mean, that's what they say. And look, let's preface it with this. Nobody knows what they're talking about when it comes to the draft. I mean, we all try, but even these general managers and scouting departments whose sole job, 24 hours a day, is to miss more than they hit.
It's every GM that I talked to in the NBA when I was covering the NBA, and when I covered other sports and you ask about it, every single one of them say, look, it's a crapshoot. You just don't know. You can look and see talent out there, and Bill, you know this as well as anybody, and you could have a number 4 overall pick, and you can think everything you want is right about this guy, and they come in and you're just going, oh, man. I'll give you a perfect example. Sixers make the trade to move up to number 1 to get Markelle Fultz.
I knew you were going to say that. That one still bothers me.
It's a Saturday, and the PR department gets in touch with the media and says, we're bringing him in for a workout by himself. You guys are invited to come. And we go there and we wait and wait and wait. The only good thing about that day was they got us Donkey's cheesesteaks from Camden, which were delicious.
There's one in Medford, too.
Yes, there is. Just open in Medford, right. So he's a couple hours late. He comes in, and he starts working out on his own, and we're standing there watching. And I looked around at the media and obviously the coaching staff, and the reaction was, oh, my God, this guy's not that good. And, you know, we're watching, and I'm looking directly at Brett Brown when he makes the sign, let's cut it short. That's it.
Well, I guess the good news, though, is at least the player that went number 2 isn't that good.
Yeah, no, he's not having that good of a time playing in the NBA and being one of the best there is. But we do digress. Okay, when we get back, we're going to do some more Eagles drafting because it's less than 3 weeks away right now with Bill Colarulo who's going to let us know 1 to 5 on a scale, chances that the Eagles take the person that I lay out to him. Also, we're going to get in a little bit more at Phillies, Sixers talk. Who's your starting lineup? What is it moving forward? It was different last night. It's been different an awful lot of times this season. But last night, was that an indicator of what may become your starting lineup when the playoffs start? This is 97.5 The Fanatic, Bob Cooney, middays.
Philadelphia Flyers hockey. The games are here.
Look out the Islanders. A breakaway. Barzell's going to go right in. Took a shot. Glove saved by Fedotov. And the crowd is on their feet.
Tim Saunders calls the games home and away.
15 seconds left. Konechny looking in front. Konechny settled it back to the line. Drysdale shoots one. Deflected right on. The rebound. They score! Morgan Cross! Cross ties it. Less than 10 seconds to go.
97.5, The Fanatic.
When NASCAR returns to the Monster Mile, get ready for the roar and so much more at Dover Motor Speedway, April 26th to 28th. 3 days of NASCAR racing. See NASCAR's best battle the monster. Plus, even more free fun for everyone at the best fan zone in NASCAR. Concerts, autograph sessions, and never-ending tailgates. Be there live in person at the edge of your seat. April 26th to the 28th. Get tickets now at DoverMotorspeedway.com. That's DoverMotorspeedway.com.
When the temperature goes up and your AC goes down, you'll do whatever it takes to get it up and running again. Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning is celebrating 120 years of innovation, all while keeping you cool for a price that won't make you sweat. With limited time financing offers and rebates up to $650, there's never been a better time to call your local Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning contractor. Visit nopaybryant.com to find a pro near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
I love the signs of spring. Birds chirping, flowers blooming, and a great sale at Kohl's. I just shopped their spring savings bash and found everything I need to get through the rest of the season. I got my whole family tees for $7.99 and shorts under $20. Spotted myself some cute dresses and sandals for 30% off and got patio essentials for 30% off. Not to mention I saved an extra 50% off other finds. So don't stop and smell the flowers. Get to Kohl's to save on a great spring. Select styles, extra 50% off clearance valid through April 11th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
With Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,000 off select laundry appliances from top brands like LG, America's most reliable appliances. And with convenient shopping in-store and online, you can get new appliances with smart, intuitive features any way you want. Like a new LG Wash Combo all-in-one that can run a full load in under 2 hours. Right now, get $1,000 off select laundry appliances with Spring Black Friday savings in-store and online at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Before I went to law school, I worked for the telephone company and was a card-carrying member of CWA and AFL-CIO. Unions play a powerful role in protecting workers' rights. I spent a lot of time in union halls building this firm 30 years ago. We represented many union members and workers, and I call many across the country my brothers and sisters. If you ever need our help, we're just a call away. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, you! You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic right now, and you're hearing about all these great opportunities from our sponsors. What would it feel like to listen and hear us talking about your business? More importantly, how will you feel when your phone rings with people saying, I heard you on 97.5 The Fanatic? Find out how you can make that happen. Send an email to marketing@975thefanatic.com. That's marketing@975thefanatic.com. The next commercial you hear could be yours.
This is Philadelphia's station for breaking sports news. Powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Coming up at 2, the best show ever with Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Batalico, and Jen Scordo. Right now, it's Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Thanks for staying with us. So happy to have you. 12:46. We're about 2.5 hours out from the earthquake that shook the area. I just read that it was, I think, what did I say, 45 miles due west of New York City was the town in New Jersey where it was. We felt it here. We talked to a lot of you about it. I just texted my daughter, who's up in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, for the weekend. They didn't feel anything up there, so it didn't go that far out west, but it went as far north. People felt it as far north as Boston, and I think Philadelphia may be as south as it went. So I hope everybody is safe out there. We're happy to be joined by Bill Colarulo's in with us for the remainder of the show. We're talking everything sports. We do have 2 tickets that we could give away. It's been a crazy morning. I think the earthquake kind of threw some people off and all. But we have 2 tickets to go see Neil Young and Crazy Horse if you would like. Ray, do you know the date? I didn't copy the date down on that. Do you know the dates of Neil Young and Crazy Horse, or am I catching you off guard here? Maybe
No,
I do.
you're not at all catching me off guard. So the date will be May 12th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion.
Okay, May 12th, Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. I want to know your Friday fun sports story of the week. Bill, I'll give you mine. Maybe you have one. It doesn't have to be something that happened to you. It can be. It could be something that you saw out west. It could be anything that you saw that you thought was fun. Mine was this. There's a certain head coach in town that had Monday off, this past Monday. Maybe the team got together early in the morning, whatever, but had nothing to do that night. You would think an off night for a professional coach in the middle of the season? All right, kick the feet up and relax. Not Nick Nurse. The guy's a basketball junkie. What does he do? He goes up to Albany, New York to watch Caitlin Clark play. That's pretty cool. To me, that's a fun story. I've said on this show many times before, the guy's just like addicted to basketball. And he really, I think it was on the Sixers broadcast that they said, yeah, Nick just decided to head up to Albany to go see some Caitlin Clark play. That's pretty cool. What's your getaway sports thing? Like, what could you do? I'll tell you mine after you tell me yours. What could you just do all the time that's sports related?
That me personally could do as a
not
can I
play.
participate?
Well, you can participate. Yeah, sure.
For me, it's golf. I mean, I'll go anywhere to golf at a nice course. Whatever I have to do, get up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever it is to play a nice course. So for me, and that's only over the last 3 years. I was never really a golfer before. Football, ice hockey, all these like stronger, faster, harder sports. And then I picked up golf a couple years ago, and I realized I'm just getting too old to play men's league ice hockey anymore. And I'm addicted now, man. I love it.
We should get you and Egan on the same hockey team. We'd have some stories to tell there.
Yeah,
Egan's on like 6 different hockey teams. I could go watch a basketball game at any level, at any hour, any minute of the day. I don't care who it is. I love being in a gym. My favorite memories of being a little kid are walking into a gym where nobody else was and hearing the bounce of my basketball. And I was lucky because when I was growing up, my brother-in-law was an athletic director for many, many years at a high school. So when I would go down to visit them, it was my biggest thrill that he would just take me over. He would just leave, like, go ahead. Here's the balls. Go play. And being in a gym by myself, man, it was like the greatest feeling ever.
Isn't it great how the senses work, though? You talk about hearing the sound of the basketball. Like, for me, I smell the fresh-cut grass, and it brings me back to football camp.
Yeah.
You know, there's like little things that just bring you back, and you don't appreciate it in the moment. You know, football camp was terrible. I hated it.
Exactly.
But now I smell that grass, and I'm like, man, I wish I could go back for just one day. Just once.
Ray, I would have you join in on this conversation, but as you said, you're a zero-star athlete, so.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It really, your shooting in that gym really helped you survive a knockout, didn't it?
Oh. Ray actually performed really well in knockout.
I was repeating something you said about yourself.
Fine. I told you, the defense is up today. You guys poked the bear on this. Now we're going to fight to the end of this Friday.
Wow. I guess I won't go to you then.
That's fine. You know what? I enjoy going to a ballpark at any time. But since you're not coming to me, I'll let you get back to what you were going to talk about.
I don't know. I think I have to make a phone call after this.
I could go to a ballpark at any time.
You can see a baseball game.
And it doesn't really matter, like, level, regardless of what it is. You know, if there's, like, kind of like what you said, you can walk into any gym. I love getting to see the different ballparks, especially if I'm going on a road trip somewhere. Is there a minor league park that has a game in town, like over the summer? But can I pop in and see what it's like? I know last year, and Andrew gave me a ton of crap for this, but we went up. Remember when it was the haze outs? We had the hazy weather or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah, because of the fires in Canada.
That night, I actually had driven up to Lancaster because an old Phillies pitcher was pitching against the Barnstormers was all the way up to Lancaster. I was going to see Indie League Baseball because I'm a geek. I'll geek out on Indie League Baseball at any time.
That's all right.
Well, no, I love it. It's fine. I don't need you. But thank you. I appreciate your support of that.
Oh, my God. You know what? I'm just not going to talk to you for the rest of the day.
Bob, I'll walk that one back. That was on me. I was getting a little defensive from that one, Bob. I walked down back. You know, I appreciate you saying that about me.
Just continue your story now.
But it got hazed out. What I was saying, I got to Lancaster. By the time we literally pulled up to the ballpark, we got the notification that the game was canceled due to air quality concerns. But, like, I'll do that where it's like, oh, I recognize a player. This is a good excuse to go up to a ballpark. Let me go catch a game here, there, anywhere.
I lucked out. I was in Boston for work once, and I'm like, let me see if there's a Red Sox game. I had some free time, and I'm walking, so I just look at the calendar. I'm like, oh, they got a game today at 1 o'clock. So I walked to Fenway, bought tickets outside, go in, first time at Fenway Park, and they're like, yeah, it's a special day. We're letting fans on the field. I'm like, really? walk down on the field, and I'm standing there literally on the grass of Fenway Park looking at the green monster. I'm like, this is a magical moment. It does feel like those ballparks feel like special places, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Fenway?
I've never been to a game there, but I had a funny story. The Sixers were playing Boston in playoffs. I guess it was 2012-ish. So they had a Sunday morning practice, but no game that day. So after practice, I was free. So I do my interviews at practice and all that, and I knew I was going to write later on that day. So I said, I'm going to walk. I walked all the way from TD Bank Arena down to Fenway. Beautiful May day. It was great. So it's a good long walk. It's a few miles. So, walk down there, get right by Fenway, and I'm just like looking around. Nothing was going on there that day. The Red Sox weren't home or whatever. And there's a security guy there, and I didn't know, I forgot, but I had my my media credential on. And he looked down and he goes, oh, what are you here for? I said, I cover the Sixers. I'm here for a thing. He goes, I said, I just wanted to look around Fenway. He goes, have you ever been in there? I said, no. He goes, come on in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Took me in, walked around, stuff like that, went into center field. There's I guess there's a restaurant out there in center field where you can look through the windows right out in center field and all that. So it was cool. Very nice of the guy. Got to look around. It was a perfect day, Bill. You'll appreciate this. Sixers got done their practice. Nobody else was practicing. I always did the same thing. I always went over to the rack and grabbed the basketball. I always held the basketball while I did my interviews. I don't know why, whatever. So I sat there. I remember that day I talked to Elton Brand for a while about something. So we get done. The buses are getting ready to go, and I have the ball in my hands. I go out on the floor, and I find the dead spot on the floor, because it's the Garden. And then I just take a couple of shots, and I go to put the ball back, and there's a guy there, cleaning up or whatever. And he goes, if you want to shoot up, go ahead. He goes, I'm going to be here for about another half hour. And I had a pair of shorts on and a T-shirt. I'm like, you serious? You okay? He goes, yeah, swear to God. If you want to leave before then, just put the ball back. I sat there and got a good workout, working out by myself, shooting, running down the other end, shooting some more. And then I give him the ball back, thank you, and then I walked to Fenway Park and was allowed to walk in there. It was one of the greatest sports days ever.
That is a magical day.
Yeah, that was a pretty good day. Okay, when we get back here, we're going to keep your day going well. In spite of this earthquake, in spite of Ray's attitude, we are going to make you happy today because I am going to throw some more names at Bill Colarulo, and he's going to let us know whether there is a good chance the Eagles take him or not. Also, if you want to call in and say goodbye to Ray on his last hour ever on a midday show, feel free. We're here, 610-632-0975. This is Middays, Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers find a way. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by the BetParks app. Live bet the tournament on the BetParks Sportsbook app. BetParks has great offers for new users. Parlays, teasers, and more. Must be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Ohio, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. The 76ers beat the Heat 109-105 last night. They closed the game on a 15th
upset with him. Everybody here at the station is a little upset with him. So, hopefully in these last few minutes that we have here before our 2 o'clock closing, the attitude gets a little bit better, because I have to be honest, as shocking as that earthquake was, so is Ray's attitude today. But we will plug through. We have Bill Colarulo in studio with us. Bill, it's always so good to have you here.
Appreciate it, man. I'm having a lot of fun. And you mentioned earthquake. Well, we got WrestleMania 40 coming to Philly this weekend. You remember Earthquake and Typhoon, the tag team wrestlers? Maybe before your time.
Yeah. No, Earthquake and no. See, I had when I was little, we used to watch it. It used to be on, I'm a little older than you. It used to be on 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoons. And it was like a 1-hour show, and you had this one guy that lost every week, and you had Chief Jay Strongbow and Billy White Wolf were the tag team champ. It was so not what it is today. I mean, it was Three Stooges comparison to what today's all about.
I grew up when the Monday Night Wars were going on between WWE and WCW.
Okay, yeah.
NWO, the Generation X. That's when I was in high school. And in fact, the last time WrestleMania was here 25 years ago, WrestleMania 15, I was there at, I guess it was the First Union Center at the time, which is now the Wells Fargo Center.
Really? I didn't know WrestleMania was here before.
WrestleMania 15 was here. I was in the building. The main event was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, and Mankind was the referee, Mick Foley.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I know all those guys. I must have had a love-hate affair with WWE, because there's some of the guys you mentioned I don't know, and then other ones I do know. The Steve Austin time was pretty cool, coming in and just kicking ass. The Goldberg time, that's when I liked it a lot. You remember Goldberg?
Who's next?
Yeah. So this guy, you probably don't remember him, Ray. He actually played for the Atlanta Falcons. Was a good college football player. Did some time in the NFL. Well, he comes onto the scene, and he just it's scripted that he kills everybody within the first 10 minutes. He gets into the ring, boom, bell rings, it's over.
WCW guy. He was a WCW wrestler.
Yeah, and he was built he had this neck, and oh my God, he was fun to watch. And then when he made the comeback at 55 or something, that's when it turns me off. Oh, come on.
Didn't have the same impact.
Is The Rock a heel now?
I think so. Did you see what he said last night?
Yeah, that wasn't good. Did you see this, Ray?
I did see it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
what he said, sorry I'm late, but I was watching Jalen Hurts lose another playoff game on YouTube.
Yes. He was over 90 minutes late for his appearance, and then blamed it on watching Jalen Hurts losing the playoffs again.
I'd rather watch Jalen Hurts than whatever football he's got out there on Saturdays and Sundays. Hey.
Oh.
That's a UFL shot.
Bringing it today.
No, I'll tell you what. So you bring up the UFL. The one thing I do think they're doing right is, do you see the technology they're using to the football and measure for first downs? So they have multiple 4K that are calibrated throughout the stadium. They're calling it True Line technology. And the ball pinpoint accuracy.
Is that right?
You look at the NFL, it's a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company, and we have men holding chains on the sidelines. You think about that.
I brought this up 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it's so funny that you're saying it.
So the True Line technology, if I'm the NFL, I'm keeping an eye on it, because you could first of all, it's quicker and it's more accurate.
It's so outdated that we have old men 10 yards apart holding a chain connected by two, things that have rubber on the end so nobody gets hurt. Yep. It's the most outdated thing in all the sports.
But how do you recreate the anticipation of those guys running out on the field, stretching out the chain, and seeing whether or not something's a first down?
It was an antiquated thing when you go to a high school football game and somebody looks up and go, hey, anybody up there want to come down and do the chain? And you do it just as well as these guys on the sideline on NFL games.
Yeah, you're always looking for someone to do the chains for high school football. Always.
It's nuts. So, yeah, you should know. You used to coach high school football over in New Jersey. So hopefully everybody got through this earthquake today. Hopefully Ray won't annoy you too much during this last hour the way he's annoyed Bill and I for the first few hours of this show. So we shall see. So, Bill, we're playing a little exercise with you today. Dom, I'll get to you in 1 second. We're playing an exercise with you today that I give you a name. You give me 1 through 5, the likeliness that the Eagles would take this guy, whoever it may be. I already gave you Kool-Aid McKinstry. You gave him a 3. I gave you Jackson Powers Johnson. You gave him a 5. 5 being the biggest possibility that they could take him. The next person I will give you here, He is a defensive edge rusher, 6'3", 254, out of your Penn State University. I am talking Chop Robinson. 1 through 5, Bill. If he's there on the board, chances that the Eagles might snatch him up.
So I would probably give that a 5 as well as being likely, only because if you look at Howie Roseman's history, since he's been the GM in 2010, he's made 13 first-round draft picks because in 2015, that was the Chip Kelly year. The position he's drafted the most has been edge rusher. He's taken that? 4 edge rushers in the first round. You go back to 2010, Brandon Graham. 2014, this name's going to annoy some people. Marcus Smith turned out to be a bust. 2017, Derek Barnett. I would call him a bust as well for
I think so.
First-round draft pick. And then last season, Nolan Smith. Obviously, they traded Hassan Reddick last week, so I could see them going with Chop Robinson. Now, he's raw, very, very raw. But if they can coach him up, his athletic ability is off the charts for his size, so he could grow into being a very good edge rusher in the league. So I wouldn't put it past the Eagles, even though some people may argue they're deep at that position with Bryce Huff and Nolan Smith still there. Josh Sweat's in the final year of his deal. Brandon Graham's going to end up retiring after this season, so we know they love to build along the offensive and defensive line. Wouldn't surprise me if they go Chop Robinson.
All right, and here's what one mock draft person had to say. Chop Robinson could be the best pure pass rusher of the class. And while he's not as well-rounded as others, he could be a 3-down player right away. So you brought up a name here that I wanted to ask you about before we get to Tasty Cake Dom. I wanted to ask you about Nolan Smith. And I think we play a soundbite on these very airwaves that I say it reminds me of kind of what they did with Nakobe Dean. They're anointing him after not seeing much of anything from him the year before. What do you expect out of Nolan Smith this year?
It's a tough question because you're right. You compare him to Kobe Dean. Nakobe Dean's rookie season, he played 34 snaps. And then it was, okay, he's going to be the starter at linebacker going into his second year, and look how that played out.
Yeah.
Nolan Smith in his first year only played 204 snaps, so obviously more than 34, but nowhere near what Reddick was giving you at 800 snaps. So I don't know what to expect from Nolan Smith. I will admit, when they drafted him at 30, I was excited. I was really excited to see what this kid was going to be able to do. I liked what I saw from him at Georgia, but you just didn't see it on the field. Hopefully, with a new defensive coaching staff and everything we hear about Vic Fangio is how good of a teacher he is, that you're going to see some big things from Nolan Smith. But it's a big hope. It is a question mark going into this season. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, fingers crossed on him because I think if he comes through, that will negate a lot of the negativity that has surrounded the Hassan Reddick thing. Tasty Cake Dom, my man. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Dom?
Hey, Bob.
How you doing, buddy?
Bob, I listen to Bill on the weekends, and he does a good job. So, I enjoy listening to his show.
Good deal.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Well, Bob, I'm 60 today. And
hey, happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, it's good birthday. I'm a big Aaronola guy, so a great present for me for him to give you 7 good ones and the Phillies win tonight would be a good birthday present.
I'm right there with you. What do you got on the Sixers, Dom?
Okay. I wanted to call to eat a little birthday crow. Joel was tremendous last night. Maxey was tremendous last night. I am not a Kelly Oubre guy at all, but he was terrific last night. Yeah. But he was terrific last night, and I want to absolutely, I think he was the difference in that game last night.
What don't you like about him, Dom? I see. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's a bad shot waiting to happen. Takes a lot. I think a point you make often is I would love to see Kelly Oubre on the floor, Kyle Lowry, who can control. I mean, Ala was going on and on about his aggressiveness last night, which is true. Kelly Oubre takes a lot of bad shots, to me.
Yeah. It's almost like you have to live with it, though, right, Dom?
Yeah, I mean, if he could play like that, if he gives you that, you've been saying all along, Sixers could be really dangerous. I mean, it looks like Joel is going to play at a pretty high level, right, Bob? I mean, it's amazing.
Looks pretty good
Second game back.
Unbelievable.
Second game back, and he's playing like that. That's incredible. Can I quickly ask you one more thing, Bob?
Absolutely.
Just something. One thing I love, you kept saying, who are they going to add next year? Because they're going to. What is Kevin Love's? Because Man, he's still a monster on them boards, isn't he, Bob?
He's a nice guy to bring off the bench. That salary is just unbelievable. I don't know what it is right now. When we were looking, I think you and I talked about bringing him into the Sixers a couple years ago, but that salary was just sky high. I don't know if Love is on his way out. I don't know if he has more years in him. That's just salary is just too high for a bench guy for me.
Yeah, I see him, Bob, very rarely. I don't see him a lot, but like last night, 14 boards, and he could still stick that three in 23 minutes. That's pretty good.
Oh, and a great outlet passer. It was described when he was coming out of UCLA. Somebody told me I was covering him in a regional somewhere or whatever, and somebody said, watch, this guy might be the greatest outlet passer you've seen since Wes Unseld. So, Dom, listen, happy birthday, 60.
Thanks,
it's a big
Bob.
one. I will promise you this. I will toast you at some point today.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
You got it, buddy. Dom, happy birthday. Appreciate you as always. Ray must be getting in a better mood because he's playing happy birthday songs, so that's always good, too. So if for no other reason, is Dom, Tasty Cake Dom's. We used to call him Nicky when we were young. Dom's 60th birthday, Ray. If you can't be happy for yourself, be happy for somebody else, for crying out loud. Here's another name for you, Bill Colarulo. Are you ready? I am going to go cornerback. I am going to go University of Iowa. And we're not talking Caitlin Clark. I am talking Cooper DeJean. He is, I don't have his, yes, I do, 6'1", 207-pound cornerback that appears to be able to play all over the place. Bill, what say you? 1 to 5, 1 being absolutely no, 5 being very good. Chances Eagles taking him.
If he's there,
yep,
a 5. I just don't know if he's going to be there at 22. I put him
real quick, the mock that I just looked up, because that's a good point that you have. The mock that I looked up might be the deepest one that has him going at 26.
Wow.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think he may be the best corner in the draft. He's got versatility. He's got great ball skills. He's an athlete. I know there were some injury concerns, but that guy, I don't think he falls to 22. Could the Eagles maybe move up and grab him if he falls a little bit? We will see, but I do really like him. You mentioned earlier Kool-Aid McKinstry, and I said the reason I wouldn't put him as higher than a 3 is because there's other corners I like better. Cooper DeJean is one of them, and the other guy is Nate Wiggins from Clemson, who's small, only 185 pounds, but another athlete with great skills at that cornerback position. So definitely like Cooper.
So here's what's said about Cooper DeJean in this mock draft that I am looking at. Iowa has produced plenty of productive defensive backs over the years, some of whom have become solid NFL players. But Cooper DeJean feels different than those who came before him in the program. There's a juice and electricity to his game that stands out. And if it weren't for the broken leg that kept him from being at full strength in the pre-draft process, there would be a lot more buzz around him. So I guess this mock drafter here has him back at 26 because of that broken leg, because of the process that he went through.
And that is kind of something that the Eagles will do. We've seen them take chances on players who have had injuries, Nakobe Dean being one of them. You go back to when they took Landon Dickerson. Everybody thought, what are they doing taking Landon Dickerson in the second round? This guy, he can't stay healthy. Well, he's done a pretty good job of staying healthy, just gets that big contract right before free agency. So I wouldn't put it past the Eagles. I just would be shocked. I know you're saying this mock drafter has him going at 26. I just think he is so good. I'd be surprised if he gets past 15, but we'll see.
Okay. I want to remind you, 12 o'clock hour, so busy it was. Ray was in his bad mood. He kind of turned us all off here, so I forgot to tell you, 12 o'clock hour is brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months and a $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. Can I get you anything, Ray? Are you okay? The weekend's getting closer.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why you thought I was in a bad mood. I was sticking up for myself.
Bill, I mean, like, you've seen it. You've only been here for an hour and 15 minutes. I mean, you've witnessed it. Am I conjecturing something?
I was sticking up for myself.
I don't like when mommy and daddy fight, okay? I don't want to get in the middle here.
That's fine. I don't think this was a fight. I simply think that my character was attacked. I stuck up for myself. I continued to dig in. And then, a couple of digs were made my way. I responded to them. And simply, I've let you play your game.
So he's just defending himself.
Yeah. This is just simply a defense of myself.
Real quickly, though, let's go back
I'm in a great mood.
to Tasty Cake Dom, because I want to ask you about something he said about being concerned about Oubre. Because he's the guy that I'm so excited about going into the playoffs is Kelly Oubre. And the Phillies may not have a closer, but the Sixers may have one right now with the way Oubre's played over the last couple games.
I know where Dom's coming from because I know Dom. And it's kind of that old school, don't do things stupidly, play the game the right way. It's a new era of, as we all know, and Dom knows this also, you got to live with some guys' mistakes. And Oubre is going to go out there and play without a conscience, and he's going to just do what he does and get you that. It might be an aggravating 20 points. His turnovers might stick out more than anybody else's. He's going to do those things, and to Dom and someone like me, man, those stick out and they annoy you.
Now, was it you or somebody else on the station, I can't remember, who said they wished Tobias Harris had Kelly Oubre's mentality? Yeah, I mean, you're spot on. Could you imagine with Tobias Harris's skills, if he just had that mental makeup, I think he'd be an absolute superstar.
I think where Tobias Harris gets in trouble, for lack of a better term, is when he thinks too much. It's, shoot like here's the just, and maybe you get that kind of mentality if you go second unit. And maybe if Nick Nurse goes to him and says, look, dude, I'm not kidding you. Catch it and shoot. I want you to be the Kelly Oubre of the second unit. No conscience. Maybe that's something that would, free him up a little bit and make him good for that second team. I understand what Dom is saying probably better than most. And I am that. And Bill, you'll learn that the more we work together with basketball, the way I watch it. I can see a game that they win by 40 points. And I had a high school coach that did this. You point out what you didn't like because you want to correct it. You're never perfect on a court. And I'm kind of like that, too, a little bit. So I think that's where Dom is. Those, like last night, the campaign, 2 turnovers that he had when Miami went to full court pressure. I'm sitting at home knowing, okay, the zone's coming soon. I texted with a friend who was happy they were up by 10. I said, yeah, but watch out. Here comes the zone. And sure enough, boom, there it comes, and the Sixers blow a 10-point lead. But anyway, they go to a full-court press. Campaign turns it over, falls in a corner. They score 3. Campaign then throws a lazy inbounds pass. They intercept it, get a 3. Boom. All of a sudden, 6 points is cut off. That stands out to me last night.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way I'm built. That's the way my mind goes. Like, that ticks me off, and that stuck with me as much as anything else. But, your impression of Joel Embiid coming back and playing the way he did after being out for 2 months.
It's unbelievable. It shouldn't be possible. And even though he's not even close to 100%, he's still dropping close to 30 points. But you mentioned it as I was driving in. I was listening to you. The lateral movement on the defensive side of the court was really, really impressive for a guy. Because that's what I'm looking for. I know they've won 2 games, which is great. But more importantly, you want to see, hey, is he favoring that knee at all? Is it going to affect his ability at all? And it doesn't seem like it is. It's just a matter of him getting back into game shape.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. He played his man straight up, anticipating the dump off because he shut his man down, and got over to that in a really timely fashion. I was really looking at his footwork last night, and I was really impressed. So there's probably a lot more coming from him as he does get into better shape. But like last night, I brought it up on the show this morning on Kincade and Salciunas. Where the hell did that floater come from?
That was so cool.
So he did it twice last night,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I swear to God, right away it popped into my mind. He was watching a game during his time off, and he saw somebody do a floater, and he said, because I've seen him do this, I've been with him when he does it, where he says, you know what, I'm gonna try that, and that's what he does, and he can do it. I'm telling you, he watched Trae Young. He watched somebody during his timeout and said, I'm going to try that, and he's going to be really good at it.
Like you said, he's watching women's college basketball maybe and picked that up.
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that, tapes of Dirk Nowitzki and said, watch this, and went out and did a perfect imitation of a one-footed fadeaway jump shot from 18 feet.
And that's why I said earlier, I'm so jealous of him. I'm so jealous of Jordan Mailata, that these guys are just that freak athletes that they could see something and say, you know what, I'm going to go do that. And then Jordan Mailata can also sing too, Bob.
Yeah, there's that, right?
Unfair, man.
Yeah,
Unfair.
Just not right. Hey, it is a Fanatic Friday. Fanatic Fridays, they're presented by Pump Man Philly. Oh, attaboy. For 24/7 emergency repair or pump replacement, count on Pump Man Philly, the guys you know, to fix your flow. Okay, when we get back, we're going to wrap it up because it's almost 2 o'clock closing time. Before the best show ever, Tyrone, Ricky, and Jen, they'll take you on to the weekend or up until, I don't know. What do we have tonight? We got Flyers hockey tonight. right here on the Fanatic. They 7 o'clock or 7:30 tonight?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Okay, so you have that coming up later. But when we get back, we're going to give Bill a couple more names. We're also going to close out this fine Friday with a smile from Ray Dunn. That's right, 97.5, The Fanatic, Bob Cooney.
Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm in a great mood, Bob. Don't worry about me. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. The 76ers beat the Heat 109-105 last night. Closed the game on a 15-3 run. Kelly Oubre big in the close of that game. 7 points in the last 4 minutes. Finished with 18 in the game. Tyrese Maxey at 37. Joel Embiid at 29 in the second game back from injury. The win puts the 76ers a half game back of the Heat and a game behind the Pacers in that chase for the 6th seed. This weekend for the Sixers features a Grizzlies and Spurs back-to-back, both on the road. The Flyers return to the ice tonight in Buffalo. The matchup gives them a chance to break a 5-game losing streak. They still sit in third in the Metropolitan Division, but tied right now with the Islanders. Puck drop at 7. You can hear the live call of the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Phillies in action tonight against the Nationals. It's Aaron Nola versus Patrick Corbin on the mound as both teams come into this one 2-4 on the season. Jordan Mailata and the Eagles agreed on a 3-year, $66 million extension on his contract. And Avante Maddox, who was released earlier this offseason by the Birds, agreed to a 1-year deal to return to the Eagles. Union head coach Jim Curtin joined the show earlier to talk all things Union. Catch that conversation one more time at 97.5thefanatic.com. This update's also brought to you by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Why are people saying Hugh yeah to Jackson Hewitt? Find out before it's too late. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt today. I'm Ray Dunn. Breaking sports news all day, every day is here. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Gazdag take a couple of reps, starts his run, tells his leg forward, scores! That's the Gazdag we know and love. He smacks that penalty midway to the right of Stuber.
The games are here.
Gets it today, inside the box, low cross off of Stuber. Here's Zua, it's a goal! Mikalua ties the game at 2!
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ricky Bo here, and buying MLB tickets just got simple. Game Time, an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, makes getting tickets fast and easy. Have you ever wanted to get to the game, but the ticket prices were just insane, or you can't find tickets anywhere? Guys, the app is amazing. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and views from your seat, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets or tickets to any kind of event. Plus, the Game Time lowest price guarantee. Yeah, you heard me. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. It's a no-brainer. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code FASTBALL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use code FASTBALL for $20 off. Go to gametime.co, no M, or download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Philly fans, your 2024 Philadelphia Union are back in action this Saturday night when they travel to the Music City to take on Nashville FC. Kickoff on the pitch is set for 8:30 p.m. Don't miss a second of the action this Saturday night. Watch every Union game this season on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Tune in all season long to 97.5thefanatic.com, the Fanatic app, or on your smart speaker. 97.5 The Fanatic is your official 2024 Union Radio broadcast partner, presented by Live Casino and Hotel, Philadelphia.
Business. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these companies is a partner helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide all choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business, the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Call or visit ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Presenting Again Fling's love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile. And the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time. There's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Biana's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah.
Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Don't be impressed when you hear someone settle their case for what may seem like lots of money. $500,000 seems like lots of money until you learn they lost both legs, had a brain injury, or were paralyzed and can never work again. All law firms are not the same. To see what your case may be worth, go to forthepeople.com and look at our verdicts and settlements for cases just like yours. Look before you leave. Hire the right lawyer. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, you! You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic right now, and you're hearing about all these great opportunities from our sponsors. What would it feel like to listen and hear us talking about your business? More importantly, how will you feel when your phone rings with people saying, I heard you on 97.5 The Fanatic? Find out how you can make that happen. Send an email to marketing@975thefanatic.com. That's marketing@975thefanatic.com. The next commercial you hear could be yours.
When breaking sports news happens in Philly, we have you covered. Live updates, press conferences, insight, perspective, and your reaction. This is 97.5 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com. Coming up at 2, the best show ever with Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Batalico, and Jen Scordo. Right now, it's Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
Joel gets the rebound, and Embiid falls down, but he's able to outlet it. Sixers 5 more rebounds. Embiid with a 15-footer shoots a floater and in. I don't know that I've ever seen Embiid shoot a shot like that. An overhand runner, and he put it in.
I'm telling you, it's brand new. He caught it from somewhere. It would have been one of the first questions I asked had I been on the beat. Joe, where'd you come up with that? Because I would almost bet my life that he watched somebody, Bill. He watched somebody while he was out watching a game here, there. It might have been a women's game, a men's game, whatever. And he's like, I got to try that.
It was pretty. And Joel Embiid impersonation is pretty good.
I don't know. Today, it's the first time I've ever broken it out, I think.
Let me ask you about Joel, though. He, after the game, talked about the MVP race and how he's kind of happy he's not in it because it was toxic and all that. What do you think of his mentality right now going into the playoffs? Is it the best it's ever been, potentially?
I think so, because his game is the best it's ever been. And I don't say that like lightly, like as a knock to him. Oh, yeah, he's happy because he's good. I think he's in a good place of where he is. And I brought it up during the injury about the extremist type of person that I always read him when I was covering him. I thought the guy was an extremist, and it's what can make him such a great basketball player after only starting to play at 16, being able to study film and do things. On the good side of it. On the bad side of it, I was on a road trip on the West Coast where we said, where's Joel? Oh, we sent him home. He just wasn't complying to what we wanted him to do. He wasn't eating right. He was drinking the Shirley Temples, all of that, an extremist. So I think that's part of his personality. I think he's become an extremist in the good way with the married life, with the child, with the self, taking care of himself the way he is. I do, Bill. That's a good point. I do think mentally he's probably in the best spot going to the playoffs maybe that he's ever been since he's been here.
And he definitely looks lean. You talk about eating right. being off all that time. He looks lean. He looks thin. You can't replicate the game speed and all that, so he's going to work into game shape. But, yeah, I'm excited. We talked about this on the best show ever earlier in the week, me and Tyrone, that the silver lining to this injury is this may be the healthiest he's ever been going into the playoffs.
It really could be. I mean, you had another time, one of the seasons, he broke his face late in the season. I think they won their last, 16 games. That was with, Reddick and Ilyasova and Bellinelli and those guys. So the team was playing really well, and the talk then was the same. Oh, great, he'll come back. He'll be in, ready to go, rested up, but he wasn't in the best of shape.
Is that when he had to wear the mask?
Yeah, and that bothered him to no end. And I think then, it wasn't long after that he also, I don't know if it was a knee or a finger, something else got hurt, and he might have had NBA poops one of those games or something. Remember he was dancing on stage when he had the knee thing during the playoffs also?
Oh, I remember.
That might have been 17-18. That might have been the Bellinelli year.
Yeah, so it's just been a myriad of things. But you make a great point. I do think he's in a good place mentally right now. And as long physically as he can hold up, we might see some special things in the playoffs. Mitch in Phoenix, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's happening, Mitch?
Hey, guys, how you doing over there?
Doing all right. We had an earthquake this morning.
Yeah, my ex sent me a text. She's up there right outside of Northeast Philly. I forget what you call it. Ben Salem. Yeah, she told me some of the people that she works with, they said they heard that and felt that earthquake like most people describe. A train coming through the house.
Yeah, it was. We shook pretty good here. So what do you got about the Sixers today, Mitch?
Well, I loved that game last night. That first quarter was one of the best quarters I enjoyed with the Sixers in a long time. And hats off to Maxey. He's incredible. And you're absolutely right about Embiid. He looked lean. And I didn't expect to see that. I don't know if it was the new hairdo or what, but he looks lean.
I said that to my wife, funny enough, last night, Mitch, and thanks for the phone call. She said, he looks good. He looks really, and I said, yeah, his face looks thin, but it might be because of the hair. And she said, that's exactly what I was thinking. Of course, I was kidding. I didn't know. I don't like the hair. I like it better when he has it up high. I like his hairdo the other way. That's more Joel Embiid to me. He doesn't look like Joel Embiid to me right now, but I think that makes his face look thinner, so that's why he wears it that way. Let's talk hair, 61632. But, no, he is so impressive how he's looked these two games. I said it on the air the other day, Bill, that I think Nick Nurse uses him in a different way than any other coach that I've seen with the Sixers, and that's that he plays him all 12 minutes in the first quarter. Then he sits him for the first few minutes of the second, bring him in 5-6 minute mark, play him out. Then he'll play the whole third. And then the fourth, you play that kind of, where are we? Where are we right now? Does he have to play 8 minutes, or does he have to play 6, or does he have to not play at all?
And last night, and this is because of his conditioning, he didn't make a field goal in the fourth quarter, Joel, and they still won the game, which was impressive. But once he gets that conditioning back, which you would think he'd get before the playoffs, watch out, man.
Yeah,
this team can beat anybody.
I agree with you, and I think he will get there. It's surprising. They finished the game on a 15-3 run. It's a defensive fourth quarter. Sixers only allow Miami to score 17 points. Embiid was a big part of that. But for him not to score in a fourth quarter when you outscore a team 15-3 to end the game, that's good.
That's why I think we're getting as excited as we are. I'm trying not to get carried away, but you look at this team, and there's a lot to like about them. There really is a lot to like about them. As we sit here right now, silver lining, we're a couple games away from the playoffs, and we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, this could be really fun. If this team figures some things out, I still think Kyle Lowry was just out there saying, okay, let me just take a look at this situation and see what's what. I don't think we've seen nearly what we're going to see out of Kyle Lowry once he's fully comfortable with Joel Embiid.
And you've asked this question before, and we talked a little bit about it earlier in the show. Kyle Lowry, 38 years old. Nico Batum's, 35 years old?
Yeah.
How much can we expect from these guys in a 7-game series? Let's hope we get there. I know they may have to win the play-in game first, but in a 7-game series with two guys 35 and 38 years old.
It's why I wonder. And last night, I'm watching that game, and I'm saying, my God, Maxey has the ball in his hands, bringing it up the floor an awful lot. Kyle Lowry's off the ball. Is part of Nick Nurse's thinking that when everybody is healthy, is he going to throw Buddy Hield in there in that starting lineup with Maxey handling the ball and bring Kyle Lowry off the bench? Now, Buddy Hield hasn't been shooting the ball well, as Tyrone and I were just talking about. 0 for 6 last night, 0 for 4 from 3. He had some open looks. If he's not knocking them down, where does Buddy Hield fit on this team?
And if Buddy Hield's coming off the bench, I would assume then he's not on the court with Embiid ever.
Exactly.
And that's the whole reason you kind of wanted him here, though. So he's on the court with him.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, Embiid's going to play you 36 minutes. He's only going to be off the floor for about 12 minutes when Paul Reed subs for him during playoffs. So there's got to be a time they can fit them together, I would assume. But you're exactly right. I mean, whenever you talk Buddy Hield, it was always, God, can't wait to see him with Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
And now might not be seeing it all that much. All right, here's the exercise that we're going with right now. I'm throwing names out to Bill Colarulo about who the Eagles might pick in a draft. They have the 22nd overall pick. Bill's going to give us a number between 1 and 5. 1 meaning, no chance they're going to draft him. 5 being, if that guy's there, absolutely, I could see them picking him up. This guy is projected to go anywhere between, from the mocks, all the mocks I've looked at, 19 and 24, 25-ish. So right in there, it's a different position than I've given you already. And this is defensive lineman. We're talking University of Texas. 6'1", 308 pounds, Byron Murphy II. Bill, what say you?
So I like Byron Murphy. And I think he's one of those defensive linemen that can both stop the run and get that interior pressure on the quarterback. But I'm going to have to go with probably a 2 because I don't think the Eagles are going to draft another defensive tackle. I could be wrong because I do think they're going to go with the best player available. But there's so many good offensive linemen. There's so many good corners and edge rushers that I think you look at that defense, and the one position where I feel good about right now is the D-tackle position. So do you need to draft somebody? We know they have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, whether you like him or not, but there's Milton Williams as well. And keep your eye out because Jordan Mailata just got his extension. Landon Dickerson got his. Milton Williams is due because he's entering the final year of his rookie deal. I expect us to hear that relatively soon that they've locked up Milton Williams. So that's the only reason. As much as I like Byron Murphy, I think your D-tackle position is the one position to feel good about because they also have Marlon Tupelotu and Moro Ujomo, who they took in the 7th round last year, who's not bad.
Look at him rolling those names off the tongue. It's like me with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, I can't say that one.
It's like you with never mind, right. That's great insight.
Again, this is just today.
Because you pronounce everyone's name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you're looking for the negative in everything, Ray. I think that's a you thing. I'm trying to build you up and tell you how good you are at this job.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I've never heard you mispronounce a name. You're very, very good at it.
You've not listened to a single update.
You're very articulate. I don't. You're self-deprecating today, and you're spewing that upon others, and that's just surprising to me.
Okay.
And if I'm going to be honest, a little hurtful. But, it's almost Friday. It's almost quitting time, so I guess I'll have to deal with it. Bill, this is an awesome, I think, exercise to do with you. The way you just laid out not only the individual player in Byron Murphy, but about the position in general and why the Eagles might not take him. Now, here's what's said about Byron Murphy in the mock draft that I looked up. It said he could easily be the first defensive tackle taken off the board. A guy that this guy thinks might go to the L.A. Rams a little bit earlier because he might be the next Aaron Donald.
Wow, that's high praise.
I'm not sure if he's saying he's the next one in that type of goodness as much as he's saying a guy that could replace Aaron Donald. So we'll see. We'll have a couple more names for Bill. Also, I want to put a little twist on this with Bill as far as what he sees moving forward with this Eagles draft. Middays, Bob Cooney, 97.5, The Fanatic.
It's 7 foot from Cameroon, number 21,
Joel Embiid.
Oubre bounces to Joel. Joel from 14 straight away. Bucket, it's good. Tie game.
He's back.
Getting guarded by Embiid. And Embiid stole the ball. He drives. Embiid goes up. Collision. Foul.
The Sixers are ready to make their push.
Man, MVP. That's what they call him. He make the game easy for us.
The games are here. 97.5, The Fanatic.
Hey, you know what you can do? You can say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge, lets you bet on every game of the tournament. And it's closing down, so let's go. Whether you're betting a big upset or a number 1 seed, and there's a lot of them left, from the men to the women, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Real simple. Pick something that you love. I don't know. Maybe it's Purdue. Maybe you want to join, put $5 down on them, and boom, you get $200 back. And you can use that on point spreads, money lines. You can even pick who's going to win it all. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/Bob and bet on college hoops until they cut down the nets on Monday. That's FanDuel.com/Bob and make the moment more. 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All AAA members have at least one thing in common. They know that careful navigation provides peace of mind, like how it's vitally important to steer clear of cold coffee, stale donuts, and office drama. But AAA Plus members also know that even the most skilled navigators will experience mishaps on the road. That's why they have AAA in the first place. With a AAA membership, you can meet life with more peace of mind, secure in the knowledge that expert roadside assistance is just a tap, click, or call away. Join AAA today.
This week at Acme, don't miss the digital deal for Signature Select Apple Juice for just 99 cents. Clip this deal and unlock hundreds more when you sign up for Acme for You. Visit acmemarkets.com/4U or download the Acme mobile app to sign up and save today.
This week at Acme, get O Organics chicken for 25% off. Hurry in now or download the Acme mobile app to shop any way you want. In-store, delivery, or to drive up and go. Acme, fresh foods, local flavors.
Heard the catchphrase that's sweeping the nation?
Jackson, Hugh, yeah.
People are saying Jackson Hugh yeah to Jackson Hewitt because they love saving money on tax prep. Do you love saving?
You know, sometimes you're a little late getting back when you're talking WrestleMania with Tyrone Johnson.
Ty's fired up for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I forgot that he is. He's a WrestleMania. He's a wrestling guy.
Well, this isn't exciting. Whether you're a wrestling fan or not, it's the Super Bowl of wrestling, and it's here in Philadelphia for the first time in 25 years. So we should be excited about it.
Anytime you have an event that's going to get 70,000 people on consecutive nights, yeah, I think it's something that, garners a little interest.
And it's pretty cool because there's going to be a lot of legends who are already here. I think the Hulk's supposed to be around. Obviously, The Rock is here. You saw him talk to some Eagles fans.
I can't believe he became a heel.
Oh, he's so much better as a heel, too, The Rock. I love him as a heel.
Oh, yeah?
He's just because he's so funny, and he can actually show more humor, I think, when he's taunting the crowd like that.
So Cena was the champion for a while, or was around. It amazed me that he was as popular as he was because he's not a good wrestling actor.
Who?
Cena. I didn't think.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't throw punches well. He didn't take punches well. Like, it wasn't. Now, some guys, man, they look like they're really fighting out there.
No, they do.
Yeah.
They do. And The Rock can sell it. The Rock sells it really well.
Yeah. Yeah, he can sell it. I was embarrassed. I said to Tyrone, who's the featured match?
Same. I mean, I was super into it when I was in high school 25 years ago. I've gotten away from it. I kind of stopped watching it after the Attitude Era that they called it, but people have been telling me that it's the best it's been in a long time to turn my focus back to it. So maybe I will.
Well, that's weird. If it's the best it's ever been, why are they bringing back 51-year-old or 55-year-old Dwayne Johnson?
Well, now he's
Isn't that funny?
He's on the board of the company that owns the WWE now, so maybe he's bringing himself back.
Oh, that's Triple H is going to bring himself back, and we're going to have the geriatric championship or something like that. 1 o'clock hour. It's brought to you by Ferguson HVAC Lyon Conklin. Attention HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies. For every heating and cooling job, visit one of Ferguson's counter locations in Bensalem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. Ray, do you know who the featured match is for WrestleMania tomorrow?
I think it's Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, isn't it?
I thought Ray was cheating there for a minute. Oh, maybe he's talking to somebody
Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Tyrone just came in and told me. So
Interesting. Tyrone, who's favored in that? I guess it has to be Roman Reigns, right? Roman Reigns is like the champ.
Cody Rhodes is definitely going to win.
Oh!
So Tyrone explained it to me the other day. It was The Rock tried to squeeze his way into the main event, and the fans weren't having it. They wanted Cody Rhodes to be in the main event. So that's why The Rock now is wrestling on Saturday night, I believe. And the main event will be Sunday, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
Now, all right, so Rock goes on Saturday, knowing WWE a little bit, how it works. Is there any chance he breaks into that championship fight on Sunday?
Probably.
Yeah, right? You don't bring Rock in just to have one appearance on a Saturday night.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he's going to be. Is Ronda Rousey still doing the wrestling stuff?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think
she
so
does.
either.
You remember, she really came on the scene in UFC. They were saying, oh, she may be able to beat men, and then she got knocked out, and you really never saw her again.
Yeah, it's funny when somebody figures you out like that. Like, when Mike Tyson got figured out later in his career that if you jab him, you could probably fight with him. And some people figured that out. He was never the same again. Ronda Rousey, nah, she's pretty much done. All right, Bill, I'm going to give you your last player of the draft, 1 through 5, 1 being no way the Eagles take him, 5 being yes, very good chance if he's there that they would take him. And then I'm going to break it down by position so that the fans out there of the Philadelphia Eagles can see where you think the Eagles might go. Okay, we are going to go back to offensive line. And we are going with the guy from Georgia because, you got to. He's 6'7", he's 340, and his name is Amarius Mims. Offensive tackle, University of Georgia. What say you, Bill Colarulo?
So I would say a 3 on Amarius Mims. Not because of the position. I do think they're going to go offensive line. I think this guy's extremely raw. I think there's other options at that position that you could see them take. Fatanu out of Washington, Latham from Alabama, I like better than this guy. But he is good. I mean, he's big. He would be a developmental piece, which with the Philadelphia Eagles, who have Jeff Stoutland, you saw what he just did with Jordan Mailata, who never even played football before.
Who got paid.
What could he do with Amarius Mims? So maybe they would go with Mims, but I do think there are better options. But, yeah, he is a beast. He's a big boy.
He is a beast. Okay, I want to do 1 through 5 with you by position. All right? 1 being, no chance. We're only talking first round here. We're only talking number 22. Let's say they stay there. You're going to give me 1 through 5, 1 being no chance, 5 being, yeah, absolutely, on your thoughts of them going with this position at the 22nd pick. Offensive lineman.
I think that's a 5. I really have a gut feeling that they're going offensive line in the first round.
Defensive lineman.
I put that at a 4, where I think maybe an edge rusher. I don't think they would go D-tackle, but I could see the way Howie Roseman likes to build through the draft along the defensive line. They could go edge rusher. I told you earlier, that's the position he's picked most as general manager.
Safety.
as much as I'd love to see them go safety, I'd put that as a 2. I think they would probably take a safety in the second round. He's never taken one in the first before. He has taken Nate Allen and Jaquan Jarrett in the second round. Neither one of them worked out.
Yeah.
But I could see them maybe doing that in the second round. I don't think they draft a safety that high.
Cornerback.
Also put that at a 4 along with the edge rusher. If they don't go offensive line, I think they'll take the best available edge rusher or corner that's there for them.
All right, there you have it. I don't think any other positions are worth.
Nah, they're not taking linebacker. Now, the one that I'm a little biased. I played tight end in college. If Brock Bowers somehow fell down the draft board, I'd love to see them take Brock Bowers.
He's got to be a top 10.
I think he would be. I think he would be, but I love him. But you could see them go with another tight end in the second round, Jatavius Sanders out of Texas, who's raw. But they need another tight end, and I'm sure you've heard when they drafted Goddard, Ertz was younger than Goddard is right now. When they drafted Ertz, Selleck was younger than Goddard is right now. So they'll probably go tight end in that second round or third round. Well, they don't have a third round because they dropped to the fourth. But at some point in the draft, they'll draft a tight end.
They need it. Yeah. I mean, they need it. It's not a luxury thing right now, whereas before when you had an Ertz going or whatever, and even Selleck when they got Ertz, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you had your starter and you're getting the guy and like, oh, we could go 2 tight ends. This guy's this. No, they need a tight end. I mean, it's not – they don't have really a backup tight end.
No, so they kept Grant Calcaterra, who's more of a pass-catching threat, not a great blocker, and then they did re-sign Albert O, the big tight end they picked up during the training camp last year. They made a trade with Denver, gave up a late-round draft pick for him, and they made it a priority to bring him back, but you didn't see him this year. He barely played this season.
No.
So I don't know what their plans are with Albert O, so we'll see what they do.
No, on pre-games, that's what he was the name we mentioned. That was the only mention he ever got on pre-games that he was deactivated.
But if you like draft talk, be sure to tune in on Wednesday night. We're doing another Birds Insider countdown to the NFL Draft. Me and the one and only Andrew Pacheco from Inside the Birds. So make sure you check that out.
Great
Wednesday,
stuff the other night. Awesome. Awesome, Bill. And thanks so much for joining us today. Thank you all for watching, listening. YouTubers, we love you. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope everybody is safe. Be safe. Be nice. It's so much easier to be nice and smile than it is to be miserable and mean. So let's be nice. Ray, I hope you turn that corner at some point in your life.
I've had a great
Thanks
day.
for another great week, Ray. Appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And we will talk to you on the airwaves again on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. Catch Bill this weekend here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Miami, I'm Ray. Why are people saying Hugh yeah to Jackson Hewitt? Find out before it's too late. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt today. The 76ers beat the Heat 109-105 last night. They closed the game on a 15-3 run. Kelly Oubre finished with 18.